Hello! Oh, look, we're actually kind of fitting today because we're Liz. We're no longer on Lord Odrin, we're back on Liz. Liz, who had never explored this map until about half an hour ago. I mean, she'd been to the very start, but that was about it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another video. It's Sunday. Hope you're all having a good weekend. I've actually just got back from having a ridiculously, disgustingly oversized Sunday roast.
Tired of guard duty.
And I'm feeling incredibly bloated. Hopefully that goes away as we go along. Oh look, NPCs talking. Yeah, so I hope you guys are all doing okay. Today's probably the final part of my coverage for this year, maybe ever, who knows. I have a feeling that when a Guild Wars 3 or a Project Tyria or something gets announced, we might end up doing a full replay of the franchise. So, you know, before End of Dragons came out, we replayed everything. Up to End of Dragons, but just in Guild Wars 2. I reckon if they announce a third game, because I'm in that sweet spot right now where I'm kind of into Guild Wars 1. I've been, you know, I haven't played it for about 3 weeks again now. I'm on my way out with it, to be honest. But I'd go back, do a series there, run on through, and then maybe we'd see Janthir Wilds again. In any case, you know, so this has been the launch playthrough. This has been the opening stuff. Today, the plan is we're going to do this quest here. It's called Work Hard for Now. We're going to see the new Fractal called Kinfall, and that's really the highlight. And we are going to look at basically a little bit of extra lore and like world building that was here on the map, Anthos dialogue and stuff, which, you know, will only take about 10 minutes or so. And at that point, we've basically seen and done everything. Yes, there's some other stuff that I could stream. You know, when we actually look at the achievements, I've got a bunch. We read these out on the last part. There's actually a mastery insight I never grabbed. I feel like this is one of the big things I should find. Where is it? That's the question. If it's the end of the meta, then you got no hope. It says, discover it in Bavanisos. Okay, fair, fine. The unfortunate thing about mastery icons is they don't appear on the minimap. So other objectives, you can just mouse over like this and make them glow so that you can see. But you can't do that. Oh, it's here. Alright, let's get that. And who knows? Maybe we'll find a piece of lore when we do that. Because, guys, so I've gone and gathered lore. I've started this episode 15 minutes later than I had planned to. Because I realized what I wanted to do was get screenshots of any lore that I could that we haven't necessarily found in the map. You know, grab them off of Wiki. One of the things I can't find on... It's definitely not on Wiki. Well, not definitely, but pretty sure that it's not on Wiki. And, we're going to have to go through the mirror here. This is such a weird thing. Why is the whole map blocked off unless you can go in the mirror? I mean, last patch... I don't know. I mean, it gives a use to this little mastery, I suppose, in some way. So I couldn't find it. So then I've just been looking around. I've got a vague clue, go high up. And that's what I've been trying, and it hasn't really worked very well. All right, so I guess we go this way. Now, maybe the lore is next to this mastery insight, but I can't imagine any lore just on a mastery point to still be missing from the wiki at this point. So who knows? There it is. There's the last little area of Bavanisos. I have to say, I've done a lot of clambering around just now. It's given me, I haven't found the lore that I was looking for, but it's given me a really good appreciation for just how fucking massive this map is. I mean, it's just one of those things, you know, like where it's kind of cool, but it doesn't really feel like a city because it's not small detail, you know, like there's no small detail in any of the environment art anymore. The big, massive places, it kind of feels a bit like a painting to look at from a distance, but when you get close, it's just, you know, sort of ethereal, sort of messy landscapes to travel through. Oh, these guys are speaking. We won't have heard that. Let's listen.
Don't you think?
Perhaps, but zealots can sometimes move beyond just their cause. Their actions become more focused toward hurting those they view as enemies.
Oh.
That's horrible and sad.
I actually have a screenshot of that dialogue, which we'll get in a second. Okay, so here we go. The last place of power here in Bavanisos. And I got a couple of questions from you guys. I feel like we've done three actually, very heavy Q&A style episodes here. I think everything that's, you know, the main things that can be said about this story have been said. So I don't want to spin in circles too much. There are a couple of little comments here though, so let's just run through these nice and quick. What I do need to do is actually filter them into the slideshow, so give me 1 second here. Delete all of these, remove that, add files. Let the hard drive spin up. as it often needs to do. And then we add all of these. I have a couple of images that I put up on Blue Sky here. First of all, here's a tweet I was nearly going to do. And I figured, no. This is way too minor of an observation. Way too minor of an observation to put in a tweet. I'm going to look like I'm desperate for things to say. However, in a live stream, in a video, it's okay, right? Like, we can put any number of asinine, minor, ridiculous comments. So what do you guys think I'm about to say about this screenshot here? What is my commentary on this? What do you guys think? So just so that you all know, a bit of background, Dragon Bash started last week. It's now Dragon Bash. I've done my Dragon Bash annual. Dragon Bash to me is like definitely the festival that I'm least interested in. Nearly always at this point in the summer, I'm busy with shit, or I kind of like, I'm not that into Guild Wars somehow. I don't know what it is in the very height of summer. And I don't know, maybe it's that the actual content there isn't that interesting. It's just kind of fight some holographic monsters and that's it. You know, it doesn't have the vibe, it doesn't have the new exploration or the quality, let's be honest, that Winter's Day and Halloween have with the snow globe and the Mad Realm and all that shit. It doesn't have any of that, right? It doesn't have, you know, the unique experience that Super Adventure Box has. Ugh. Even as far as like a combat festival goes, you know, the Jubilee is so cool and is so much more interesting to me, and the Crown Pavilion. This is just go stand in a little arena and hit some hollow stuff. I don't know. So I've got barely any skins from Dragon Bash, and I think I've only done the annual 3 times ever. I mean, it's the newest festival, so maybe that makes sense. But I've got 150 out of 1,000 AP. Anyway, I've already done it this year, so I'm actually quite proud of myself and happy with myself there. It's because I'm still interested in the big 50k, you know, the big 50k. Anyway, so Dragon Bash is going on, and I took this screenshot. I was going to do a tweet. I decided it was way too minor of an observation. What do you guys in the live chat think my observation is about these? These are potions that you can buy from one of the Dragon Bash vendors. It's a minor potion of Branded Slaying, Mordrum, Hologram, and Scarlet Slaying. Now, as minor potions, it means they give you, like, very, very, very little benefit. There's a really interesting, like, problem with RPGs, right? Where, okay, if you're going to create a scale, a sliding scale of potion efficacies, right? And at low level, you're going to have the weak ones, and at high level, you're going to have the strong ones. That sounds cool. But what it means is that when you're level 10, you get, like, plus 1% damage. No one gives a fuck about 1% damage, especially not at level 10 when the numbers themselves are so low initially, right? Nobody cares about that. So what effectively happens is none of that stuff even remotely worthwhile. Guild Wars 2 falls into this design trap all the time. Think about all the foods in the game that are like required level 30, required level 20, and it's just like they're just shit because the perk you get is now such a tiny, piddly little percent, it's irrelevant, right? It's a nasty trap. I see Guild Wars falling into it all the time, and like with my little MMO thing, I've tried to be very careful not to fall into it. Anyway, that's not what I'm discussing about these minor potions, because yes, you could obviously say immediately, well, never buy them. They're not worth it. They're not worth the Dragon Bash currency. They're vaguely on theme with the festival, fine, but they're shit. I think a lot of other MMOs would say, well, these are going to be really good, and you can only buy them at this time of year, and there'd be an interesting economy with them, you know. So instead of 10%, they'd be 12 or whatever. And that's a fascinating idea, not the kind of thing that Arenanet likes to do. So that's not my observation. What's my observation? Sorry, I'm going to go and look over at chat here now. Hello to everyone. You do love the Beetle racing? Yeah, I actually got a really good time on it this year. Fucking Boots has got 1 minute 5 seconds, which is so quick. I got down to 1 minute 7. Oh, that reminds me, actually. We still have to do the South Sun Beetle race. I'm going to do that right now at the start of this episode before we get back down with too much stuff. So another little... while you guys think... while you chew on my amazing question of that screenshot. So, a bit of background. Just before this patch came out, just before Absolution, there was a minor patch that came to Guild Wars 2 in which they added this. There's an adventure here, guys, near South Sun, which I think is cool. This is the perfect tropical island paradise type area that there should be a lot of adventures and things. Obviously, there's an activity here, but the way that they've done activities, it's not fully integrated, blah, 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 needs some work. Anyway, it's a Beetle race. There is an actual race that comes every now and then. I'll just show you the adventure version. Effectively, you do this 15 times. I actually really like this course. I've always said with Beetle racing, it's so funny. I know these maps weren't made for the Beetle. I know they weren't made for the Beetle. They predate the Beetle by years and years and years. But as soon as you get one of these races on them, they feel just like a match made in heaven, you know? I think that's a testament to how well designed the Beetle is in this game. Like, it makes it feel like they're real courses. And what I like here is all these little rocks, right? Littered about across the path that you're dodging. Like, it just feels so natural. Like, it's the correct... I don't know. Anyway, I'm probably a bit out of practice of this because I did it. Oh, let's pretend that didn't happen. I'm probably a bit out of practice because I haven't done it for a few weeks, is what I was going to say. But yeah, I just kind of, you know, nice little bit of grind, turn off your brain, sit down, chill. You can do this course. Yeah, look at all the rocks here that you dodge. I think there was a new scarf that they added with this. 15 laps for all your achievement points. Gold time was a piece of piss, which I'm disappointed in always, but I'm extra disappointed when it comes to racing, because the racing Beetle has got so much like technical and interesting like elements to it that you can really push. And if you guys remember when the first batch of... that's still really ugly, but I'll take it, whatever. I'm scared to boost out because we still have to... No, actually, fuck this. That's horrible. I'm not doing that. If you guys remember when the Beetle races first came out, you had Brisbane Wildlands, and one of the other ones, I think Snowdon, maybe? Oh, why did it bug the music? What? And those two were really hard. The Brisbane one especially. I can't remember if I was streaming that. Do you guys remember me streaming the Brisbane one? Really challenging. And, you know, that's fun in its own way, and it's a memory, you know. Unlike so many adventures that just get released and then there's nothing to them. So I always like it if Arenanet pushes gold just by default and actually puts a little bit more challenge in them. But especially with the Beetle races, because the Brisbane one was such a highlight. There you go. So then you go up this ship. I like to go up the actual mast. But I think the rule of thumb really, if you want a quick time with Beetle racing, is being on the ground as much as possible is what you really want. Anytime you're airborne, not a good idea. Oh. Also, drifting. You don't generally want to drift too much. Here, I think I'm going too slow, aren't I? Oh, God. Ah. All right, keep going. We take a left. Oh, my God. What? Go, 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 go. Up the hill. I know there was the thing there, but the way it worked out. And that's it. That's the course. That's the lap. There you go. What did we get there? I was just bitching about gold. I bet we didn't even get it. Oh, no, we did. Yeah, I did that in 1:30. My best time was 1:22. I don't know if Boots has done a video on this one just yet. Doesn't look like I see him there. But yeah, anyway, Dragon Bash has a little bit of Beetle racing, which is kind of fun. What the hell? I was in combat with a Wind Rider a million miles away. All right, back up to... so there you go. That preceded this patch. I just want to make one little comment on that. And, you know, anyone really in the know, I think, will have been talking about this already. So, Secrets of the Obscure. Mini X-Packs. Okay, we can't do elite specs, but we can do new weapons. Okay? We can't really do super grand new masteries, massive innovations like gliding, like mounts. But what we could do is we can take an existing mount and we can make it really good. Okay, so like we'll do a sky scale expansion. Okay, and then next, what's another underwhelming mount? Okay, for Janthir Wilds, we'll do a Warclaw expansion. That's what we've just played, the Warclaw expansion. So we've had sky scale, we've had Warclaw. It stands to reason that they might go for something similar for the next one as well. What's another... let's call it underwhelming mount, or maybe a mount that could have a little bit more utility to it, or whatever, I don't know. Because I generally think that all the mounts are incredibly good. Is it the Raptor, or is it kind of already at its moment in the sun? Probably it's already at its moment. Is it the Springer? Yeah, okay, well, look, in fact, I would say all of the initial Path of Fire ones, they're pretty much golden, and they're alright, and I love the skins that Liz has for all of them. Including even the Griffin. Okay, well, let's look at some recent ones. Well, we've got the Warclaw we've done. We've got the Sky Scale we've done. We've got the Turtle was pretty new. That was End of Dragons not very long ago. Now, if they do an underwater-themed mini X-Pack, I do think the Turtle's an interesting candidate. Okay? I do. But that leaves one more. The Roller Beetle. The The Roller Beetle, which, like the Warclaw, obtained in kind of a fringe area of the game, you know, World versus World, fringe area of the game. I'm going to get some people angry with that, aren't I? You know, an achievement buried within World versus World. Or the Sky Scale, you know, a Season 4 collection that was notoriously grindy. These new expansions have added alternate ways of unlocking these mounts in more obvious main story settings, right? Well, the Beetle is very similar. The Beetle comes from a random Season 4 episode, right? From Corner? How many players remember? You know, new players especially are going there. An alternate path to unlocking the Beetle? A mini-X pack around the Beetle? Okay, well, so let's look into it, says Arenanet. They've been working away on it for 12 months. They've got a lot of thoughts on it, and hey, maybe that explains how a new Roller Beetle course just kind of ended up slipping in right here on the cusp of the announcement. That's kind of my theory with it. Basically, there you go. That's a really long, slow way of saying, I think the next mini-X pack might have a Beetle focus. Might do. Look at how cute. Oh. Okay, so anyway, there you go. All right, now back to the screenshot here. Let's see what people have said. Oh, we're all just talking about Roller Beetle racing now. Sangria says 1 minute 5 seconds is where you plateaued. Yeah, I think I could squeeze out another second in the Dragon Bash race by optimizing the start, which is really tedious, and you know, where you click the start adventure when you're already at max revs and shit like that. Ugh, I say max revs there. That's definitely Guild Wars 1 that's influenced me with that. Oh no, he's dancing. Oh, he stopped. And then I could probably get another that very first like hard turn you do about 10 seconds into the race on the ice lake. That's probably where I could get another second or so to hit Boots' time. But everything else in the run would have to go perfectly. And there's some weird bumpiness on the decking as well, where you bounce around like on the floorboards and things. Can you turn the potions into research notes? No. It's a really terrible observation. It's so minor of an observation. The inconsistency of the naming. Minor potion, minor potion of, minor potion of, minor potion of. Oh, you mean where they put the where they put slaying, right? Minor potion of Scarlet's army's slaying. That wouldn't quite make sense, would it? Anyway, all right, my observation about this, guys, is I love the icons. That's it. Dude, those are the best potion icons in the game. They just got the perfect balance of, like, detail. The light is excellent. Look at those icons, all right? Look at the blue one especially. I mean, that brings me back to the convention demos and when mana was a real mechanic and you could drink mana. Look at those icons. They are the best potion. Like, in-game, you know, we all carry the odd potion around with us, right? Look at these. Look at these flat, gross icons here that I've got. Look at these. Ugh. Gross. You know what the top tier icon should have been? These ones. I'll tell you what, guys. As I get older, I'm more and more of a sucker for, like, UI and icon work. And, like, flavor in the UI and stuff. Probably a part of my, like, development with Stellaris has got me more and more into that stuff, but Guild Wars is just like gold standard, isn't it? Those are good fucking icons. And I looked at those on the vendor and I thought, man, I still believe in a world where, well, yeah, whatever. Okay, so there you go. Let's get into the Q&A, shall we? Next question. Oh no, and then there was this. Yeah, I got my 100 Nios convergences done finally. So I've done all 100 convergences in Nios, never going back there. I got quite lucky on the most recent ones. We actually pulled a convergence off at like 4 AM on EU with like 10 players. Seriously. And that's hard, guys. That's really hard. It took about 40 minutes just to clear the islands. I was sitting there thinking, why am I wasting time? Umbriels are going to spawn and we're going to instantly lose. But no, and over those like 40 minutes to clear the islands, because you just got no people. Like 3 more guys joined, so we had 13 by the end. But we actually did it, which is amazing. And then after that, the last 4 I've done over the past couple of days have just been piece of piss, really easy, every single one. Never had a hard demon. Really, doing the CMs is the way to finish this stuff quickly. The only downside to this was you get a free Skyscale weapon box at the end of this, which would finish my rare collection for Skyscale weapons, which is very expensive. but I'd already foolishly manually crafted all of those weapons, so I wasted a fuck ton of money not realizing that. Anyway, yeah, so now I got to do Mount Barrier. I think I've got 60 out of 100 done. Ugh, and it keeps spawning Greer. Ugh. I should have done it all back when Decimal was the only one. You live, you learn. And then, of course, in a couple of months, we're going to have, you know, another convergence, probably, right? I mean, it's a pretty good guess that the next one will still be very Wizards Courty. It will be about some kind of extra planar invader. And they'll have their own convergences, I would guess. Maybe we'll have Fissure of Woe convergences next time because it's to do with Menzies. Who knows? Anyway, all right, there you go. Let's get in. Just a little comment here from Stefan, who says, I love the Q&As you've been doing in the Janthir Wild streams. It takes me back to one of my favorite WP eras, the End of Dragons daily videos. And Bloom said, yeah, 100% gives me those vibes. And that's a good one. I'm partial to AP of the day myself. Okay, first of all, AP of the day, you're a real one for remembering that, because that was on my second channel. I really should have had the confidence to put that on my main channel. That could have been brilliant series that, if I'd had the discipline for it, and if people... The problem, it's not really discipline, it's whether people will watch. But I never really had the confidence to put on my main channel. That was a really fun series. Anyway, Q&A, I don't know, it's funny to hear you say EOD daily, because to me, that's such a small part of history to me. It feels like I spent no time on that at all. But I looked back and there were like over 100 episodes. I did like over 100 episodes of EOD daily. I mean, Jesus Christ. That really shocks me. But you know, I did Q&As before Guild Wars 2 came out. I did Q&As before Heart of Thorns. Before every major release, I've done them. I haven't done them for mini X-Backs. There was no Secrets of the Obscure daily. I wasn't even in the country when Secrets of the Obscure got announced. And then for Janthir Wilds, so last summer, basically, why didn't we do a Janthir Wilds daily? I'll tell you why, because I wasn't really enjoying the game. I really wasn't very into the End of the Nio stuff. I was feeling pretty... You know, for as messy as the actual detail writing is in this story that we've just played, we are light years better than last year, I have to say. Like, I have to remind myself of that sometimes. Anyway. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it, really. And I'm enjoying making them. Right, so let's keep going here. What else we got? Jordan Rye said, speaking of text budget topic, it would have been so much better if Zodja or Lear had appeared in the final Janthir Wilds instance with some text dialogue explaining where they've been, what they've been up to. The two of them, literally half the Wizard's Court, being absent makes the world feel so sparse. I understand Felicia Day isn't going to be available for every patch storyline, but at least keep the characters a part of the world with a couple of lines of text dialogue. ... I mean, I get the impulse of what you're saying. To me, I mean, I just view Zodja as a lost cause. I know that, like, the public statement from the studio is that they could have got her at any time, and she has that tweet where she says, oh, I'd love to do it, I just haven't been outreached. And they were just looking for the right story, and blah, 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 blah. It really feels to me... I don't know whether she how does it even work? I don't know. Do they pay one fee to the guild and then that's it? They get access to all the talent for a flat rate? I don't know how it works, but I feel like they shouldn't use Zodja for reason A, B, C, whatever, right, over the years. And when they put her in Secrets of the Obscure, they did the Mind Wipe story. It feels to me like they're not going to do much with her. Like, she's had her new beginning, and she's off screen now. And I'm not expecting to ever see much Zodja again, ever. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe in a couple of months I'll eat my words and she's back up to main cast. She's a proper, like, traveling companion. Because even in Secrets of the Obscure, she didn't really feel like she was on that level. But she's just not on my mind ever. I don't know. But there's something I do want to talk about. This idea that because those two are... And Lear we've talked about a lot. Lear is pretty egregious. But the fact that they're not there makes the world feel sparse to you? The two of them, literally half the court being absent, makes the world feel so sparse. That's really weird, because I have the complete opposite response to that. It sort of blows my mind that that's your take on it. Because surely them not being there shows that they have lives, that they have ambitions, that they're on adventures, and the world is not small. There's shit happening. Tyria is an active... immersive place. If every character ever is in every scene ever, it's going to feel like a little small neighborhood. You know, I talked about this in my FFX series a lot. In FFX, Spira feels massive. and everything's exciting, and you're meeting all these new characters everywhere you go, and it feels huge, right? In the sequel, they keep the exact same characters, and it's the same people popping up all over the place, and you go from feeling like you've got this massive fictional continent to feeling like it's a neighborhood, right? It's just a couple of guys. That's it for the whole world, because it's the same dudes over and over and over again. And it shrinks the world to have the same characters always on tap, always available. So yeah, my reaction to that is the opposite. I really think it's outrageous that Lear is left where he is and how they handled it. But there is an advantage to him being away. At least it feels like, you know, Tyria is that little bit more like a real place to me. It's the opposite of making it feel sparse or sparse. Don't know how I want to pronounce that. Okay, so here's a bit. So I went to go get a bit of lore. Okay, Anthos, the Massart that's around the city. You know, when we started Barvanisos, I was so excited, guys. I was so ready to have this Massart gardener talk to me through the fall of the city. We found him a couple of times. I've loved his dialogue every single time. I've had the impression that there's loads more out there, right? Like we saw him again in the jumping puzzle in the last part. Woohoo! So where else is Anthos? What's all the other dialogue? I resolved to go to the wiki and screenshot it all for your pleasure. And how many screenshots did I get? I got this one. This is the only other bit of Anthos dialogue. So again, it's that thing where it's like, I love what you're doing, Arenanet. I love it. Give me more. I'm big and fat and greedy for lore. Give me more. Or I'll show you the door. Ho-ho. I don't know. We're trying to rhyme it. Basically, the point is, there was one little moment, and here's what he says. Near the time of its fall, there weren't many left who saw value in me or my work. I.e. horticulture, aesthetic, shit like that. There's power in subtle things, he says. Things that take time to nurture and grow. My peers only saw the spade in one hand until it was too late to notice the dagger through their hearts. In the end, I saw some precious few prisoners and test subjects to the shores of Janthir Gravis. If any of them ever made it back to their homes, I wasn't to know. So that's the last bit of dialogue. We might have heard that on screen, but as I was reading on the wiki, I don't fully recognize it, so fuck it, we'll put it on here. Maybe we even did get this. Of course, there he's alluding to, there was a full-blown lore book that you could read, where he talked about how he ended up saving these people. It's funny, when I look back at Secrets of the Obscure, the little bits and pieces that ended up blossoming into massive stories in Janthir Wilds was rather unpredictable. And so now when I look at Janthir Wilds and I look at all the little bits and pieces, I wonder myself, which things are going to become big elements of the story? I don't know. It's funny to think these prisoners might be it somehow in some way. I mean, I doubt it, but it's funny to think that Arenanet talked about it twice now, once in the lore book and even in some voice-acted stuff. I wanted more from Anthos. There you go. Do you know what I just noticed, by the way? We have the metas starting, I think. Is it the meta starting? Something was starting. Or ending. And I have dialogue muted, but the little crackling of the microphone was coming through anyway. It's kind of funny. All right, next. So here's some other lore that we'd missed. A crumpled note. So this crumpled note, maybe I can show you. So that of all the events, there are like 1 or 2 events in the map that I haven't done. Oh god, how am I going to get there? Then we go here. Let's see into the mirror. Okay, you see that mirror up there? That's a big event that I have never done. I found it a second ago while looking for lore. Okay, so there's an event here. So there's a djinn, first of all. Good to see you again, Wayfinder. The mirror network here is currently unstable. It's too dangerous for us to attempt to map it. So there was an achievement to getting this just right. Basically, an event can spawn here, where you get 3 choices of mirrors, and it takes you to like an island where there's 3 more mirrors, and then 3 more, and then 3 more. You see all of these around? And you're like worming your way all the way up there. And when you get to the top, there is a lore note, okay? And this is what the note says. So we don't actually have to do the event. We can just cut to the mustard. It's Speaking of mustard, add a little bit of mustard with my roast just now. No one is coming. I still hear them. My neighbours, that's the Massart, screaming for help day and night. The pleas to save a parent or a child trapped beneath the rubble. Terror at what Bavanisos must now look like. The air reeks of bloodstone. Something blocks my shadowcraft. I will not escape. So that's it. The shadowcraft thing, by the way, that they can move quickly or transport around and shit. Again, like, there's very little, like, detail. Is there, like, we don't... Like, shadowcraft couldn't be used to transport souls for the soul batteries. Manakaz was doing all of his experimentation on that, but, like, why? What is shadowcraft exactly? I feel like I expected the story of Janthir Wilds to go into much more detail about this, especially considering it opened with a blog post about it, but it just kind of didn't. So they say here something blocks my shadowcraft. What is that? I don't know. The Titans? Abaddon? Kilbron? Something else? Anyway, they're stuck here. And they say the Titans are dead, but the capital died with them. Also, where is this person? Because they're saying terror at what Bavanisos must now look like, suggests that they can't see it. But we find the note here, and it sounds like someone dying here. So what's going on with that? Anyway, the Titans are dead, but the capital died with them. Am I the last one? When it's over, who will be left to remember our names? Our cities? Our achievements? Our mistakes? When this wound finally claims me and my body turns to dust, will anyone remember me? So the natural question to ask immediately there is to say who wrote this, because it's not signed off by anyone or anything. But I think that's the beauty of the message, right? You don't get to know. Will anyone remember them? No. There is no evidence of who they were, just another member of the citizenry that has fallen. And it's sad, isn't it? Which is, you know, pretty cool. It's funny, this makes me think, though, about other Massart cities, too. Like, remember, this isn't FF14, they're not city-states, right? The Seers, presumably, were all over Tyria. The Massart were all over Tyria. These are vast empires that waged war against one another. Bavanisos was only founded at the end of the war. So what, is it the only city left? Well, talk to me about that. Why is it the only city left? Suggest to me some of these other cities. Why is, you know... It was Ratasum one of the cities, you know, because it's, you know, the classic Eye of the North theory about all of that. That would be nice to touch on just for a moment. For the Giga nerds, you know, the nerds that have been here around a long... I was going to say, the nerds who have been around here a long time, but what actually came out of my mouth was the nerds that have been around here too long, which is definitely true. All right, guys, if you're like me, it's been too long. Or Ratapaten over here. Was there a Massart connection? Sorry, Ratapaten. We want to go down. Here we go. You know, talk to me about these things. This is, as far as I can make out, the Massart expansion. And, and they kind of just left it open. So here there's also this. So if you remember, so I can't remember if we read this or not, okay, but remember in the center of the map we found Gos Elish, which is a Forgotten that you actually meet in Guild Wars 1, or was like probably one of the bosses in the Crystal Desert, probably, or it was the guy that you speak to for the attribute point quest. Anyway, or was that Yassith Sarith? No, I think that was a NPC in the Foundry. You know, can I just say, by the way, guys, you know how having a character name in Guild Wars 1 reserves it for Guild Wars 2? Back in the day, I used to farm the Foundry of Failed Creations, and what I used to do was 600 Smite Famine, so that's 3 character slots out of an 8-man party. And then what I would do is I would multi-box the game and have other characters just sitting there in the party, so that when you finish clearing the Foundry, you can go and open the box and get maybe a couple more Titan gemstones. Quite exciting, right? Here you go, the event's starting now. So I needed a couple of character names for those, and I named them after the Forgotten that are there. So I actually have the character name Yassith Sarith, and was Gosselish one of them? I actually have a bunch of those, but they're not tied to my main account, so I could never put them here. But I could delete them off of the Guild Wars 1 and then blah 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 blah. Anyway, should we try this? Should we take a quick break here and just try
Colleagues
this?
and I are having a time of it. Are you keen for a challenge? I'm sure you've cleaned up your share of Mersant messes today, but at least this one is quiet. Do you have any experience with Mersant mirrors? We're trying to map the teleportation network here and hopefully restore it. But the connections change in random patterns. My colleagues can't leave the final nodes without losing their positioning data. If you can reach them before the next change and record their positions, I'll link them to mine here and map the paths. Take my beacon and pick a mirror. Each one connects to a set of 3, which connects to another set of 3 in turn.
Okay. So find the ward members inside the mirror network and return their findings to Alia. Not Alva, sorry, Alia. I love that we have a Jinn here, by the way. That's cool as fuck. Be cool to hear what the Jinn think about this. What does Zomoros think about this place? Right, so malfunctioning mirror. So I went in the northern one. No, that was the western one, I think.
Keep making connections and you should eventually reach my colleagues. Ask them for their data and bring it to me.
So we'll go left. We could treat this like that Super Adventure Box bit, you know? In the ninja level, where you do it from platform to platform to platform. I think the way forward on that is the Konami code, isn't it?
This one connects to... Well, and that one must... wait.
See, I love commander dialogue here.
I've had far too much time to dwell on the realities of this place.
It's Rhiannon! Hi! Holy shit, that's cool. Okay, I have Rhiannon's personal data. So I just need to remember... Can I fly out of this? Alia's beacon has saved me from being lost in the network.
Such a baffling system. But I could make it better.
What do we do? Do we do this like really, really nerdy then? And just try to remember. So, same one again now. So does this randomize every time the event randomizes? That's kind of cool. So I assume that takes me back. So last time we went left, so this time we go right. So it's not actually 3 options each time, it's just 2. Oh, we're going all the way up. I think we're going to get the... oh no, we're not going all the way up. Oh my lord. Oh wow. Oh, there you go. Scrawled notes. Here you go. This is the thing I didn't expect to be here on this episode. That's why I grabbed the screenshot, but it's worked out in the end. There you go. No one has come in. Will anyone remember me? Okay, so going... So there's no mirror to walk back here. I have to get scrambled and saved by the beacon. Okay, so I've picked all options. I've exhausted all options from that mirror now, haven't I? Oh no, maybe there's one other option. Hold on. Unless the mirrors back do take me somewhere special. So we went left, we went right, but when we went right, was there a third? No, it just took me straight to it, didn't it? Okay, now if I hit exit, do I go back to the start? No? This is a cool event. Okay, so I think we're done there. So we're going to go... Well, okay, no, hold on. Let's test. We should test. We've got 8 minutes till this time's out. So try this mirror now. Is that going to put me back on the main platform? No, it's not. It's taking me somewhere else. Okay, well, we learned the logic of it a bit more. There's no NPC and no... This looks so weird, doesn't it? It's an effect that's been blown up much bigger than I would have expected. You know, I realised there's a trailer, a Guild Wars 2 trailer.
Holding steady, and I'm beginning to grasp where everyone is. We can do this!
Which was like a fly-through of the city I didn't know existed until this morning. Right, let's go over here. This is one of those weird events where it almost feels like it's not quite cooperative. Because I want to find the NPCs, not other players. Oh, here we go. No! Alright, oh god, okay, and so... Nope, nothing here. Is there any need for me to even kill the mob? I could just run back, right? So back over here. Sadly, no mention of an expansion dealing with an Asura as a race, like reclaiming the depths. I'm a big believer in a depths mini X-Pack. Well, kind of. Shit, I don't remember which one I went in. I'm going to go in this one. Oh god, talking to chat while doing this, I'm going to just lose my place so fast. 6 minutes remaining. Do we get an NPC in here? Nope, literally nothing in that one. You'd think the Asura would be vying to return to the underground? Yeah, again, it's more subject material that was the Ice Fruit Saga's duty, in my opinion, to talk about. That's the whole Primordus arc right there. You know, I just don't believe in one product that crammed those two together in the way that it did.
This one connects to... Well, that one must... wait.
I like that Liz is just as confused as me. Like, there is an expansion's worth of talking about the dwarves and talking about the Asura reclaiming the home, talking about the dredge even. You know, Tyrion moving and changing. If this all happens after Jormag's defeated as well, you've got all kinds of juicy subject material that an expansion could go into about the Norn returning to the far north, you know. Jump down that giant pit that was up there and then get to the depths. There's a lot. And the way that we got it in the end is, you know, pretty disappointing. So I'm kind of a big believer in a mini X-Pack all about the depths now. I think a lot of that stuff can still be patched up and can still be done. The issue is that what's on my mind right now is I really don't like this city that much. And surely a depth expansion would feel a lot like this city does. But then I have to stop and I have to say to myself, well, no, hold on. It's all about... This city doesn't feel uninteresting to explore because it's got a roof on it, necessarily. It's because it's Bava Nisos, and I didn't really want Bava Nisos to have a roof on it. It's because there's no small detail, you know? It's... Like, when I think about a depths expansion, I think of, you know, lots of dark rooms and chambers and mystical old civilizations, lots of new, untouched, interesting areas of Tyrion lore and world building that can be completely new. Alright, we've got 4 minutes to find this last member. I'm kind of just going a bit scattershot here. So, I don't know. I am a believer in a depths expansion. I think it could be very interesting. And yes, Primordus at the heart of it is the central conflict. Would have been really good. Now they're going to have to find something else to be that drama. But, you know, it was never about the big bad at the end anyway, was it? That was just a vehicle to get us to go on adventures. It's just a bunch of random floating crap. I mean, that's a less diplomatic way to put it. But, yeah. You know, I think of... You know in... Dredgehorn. You know in Dredgehorn Cliffs, the very north, there's that mini dungeon that with lots of darkness. I think the game's really good when they play with a lighting system and there's darkness, you know. I like the idea of lots of dark areas and, you know, spooky places, closed places, claustrophobic rooms that then open into epic chambers and hallways filled with mysterious architecture, stuff like that. You know? I think it could work. And I especially am excited about the idea of Tyria, but you, like, click the underground layer or whatever and you see like maps down there. Oh, it'd be interesting. The Forsaken Fortune Halls. Yeah, that's it. We may be going there today, by the way, with this quest that we're about to do. I don't know if I'm going to find these guys. How the hell do we get that last NPC? We've got 2 minutes 30 seconds to find it.
pattern change is imminent. Please, hurry, Wayfinder.
Yeah, I'm trying. How did these fucking people get so lost in it? This is outrageous. Oh, he's right there. The thing is, proximity doesn't necessarily have anything to do. Guys, I have no clue which one I've gone into already. I've got no clue. I think I've been in this because what motivated me last time was that the mirror was already shut when I landed. I think I've been in this because I reasoned foolishly that we'd just hop over. So I'm going to do this. But I think I did this as well. We might have fully explored this whole thing. Draconis Mons is a great example of a depths map with great detail. The problem with Bavanisos, in my opinion, is that it's a meta map. There's no exploration or incentive to explore. There's a little. Ah, we found one.
You didn't see anything odd on your way here, did you? Relatively speaking, that is.
Field Archivist Pren. I don't actually know that guy. I already have their positional data. What? Oh, shit. Alright, I think we've explored everywhere in that mirror now. It's got to be this mirror. 1 minute. Oh, we're going to fail it. Oh, God. Oh, what? You've already turned in Rhiannon's network data. You need to turn in Pren and Shawpaws before you can turn in Rhiannon's again.
Such a baffling
there we go.
system. But I could make it better.
Yeah, you're telling me. Alright, we did it. We completed it. Yeah, I think what I'm nervous about with it, when we talk about adventure, okay, I've said over and over and over again, I like a sense of progression. I like a sense of physical progression in terms of I like to travel from point A to point B. That's why I play RPGs. I like to explore. I like to, you know, travel over the horizon. I like to speculate about the art on the map and end up at the physical place, right? It's really important to me. So, it's given that those are all, like, values of mine, a depth expansion is potentially really dangerous because if we imagine the format there is, like, just going through surrogates or whatever to teleport to, you know, these vast distances underground, basically how they did it in Eye of the North, that doesn't work. That doesn't marry with anything that I really want, some of my core engagements with the game, right? Like, so I'm really, I think it is a little bit iffy.
You've done it. The web is unwinding. I see how it works now. A central hub with scheduled connection changes would have been the most efficient use of this much energy. The controls are missing, as well as the schedule. But I believe the random patterns are this system's default state.
So, if something happened to the operator...
Intruders would lose access to the network. A failsafe.
Huh. Well, I guess nothing saved him from failing in the end.
Assuming the Alliance can save this city, restoring the network will help us uncover its secrets. Thank you all.
You obscure folks and your secrets. Like cubs on fresh meat.
I'm sure all the Bastions will pitch in when the time comes. As long as you don't mind a little griping.
Arguably the very soul of the Astral Ward. Thank you for your help, Wayfinder.
Yeah, I doubt we'll ever see that, will we? The mysteries having unfolded. Well, there you go. There's a good bit of dialogue with that event. I'm glad that we've actually done that on screen now. All right, let's go back to the entryway there. Yeah, so I don't know. But basically, I'm just trying to say it seems a little bit risky. I've proposed before. You know, when we talk about Guild Wars 2 maps being unappetizing because they're just kind of big rectangles, right? And you get these rectangular walls and stuff. I've talked about a model of a depths expansion where you have a classic map, but you can't discern it as a giant rectangle because it's made up of just like loads of little interconnected cells. And there could be, you know, across 2-3 maps, there could be like hundreds of them. All different pockets, like that they're all worthwhile explorations on their own. And you know, I'm not drawing small circles here, you know. I'm talking, you know, we're talking big chunks, right? But they're all kind of like separate and I don't know, like I've proposed that before, but maybe that would feel really bad. I don't know. I guess if I played World of Warcraft retail, I would have some good opinions on this because they just did a depths expansion, didn't they? And people really loved it. But yeah, okay, let's step away from the waypoint a little bit here. Now, where the hell were we? Because we were in the middle There you go. All right, so there's that. Oh, okay. Jesus Christ. So when we were on the map, we saw Gosselish sent this message and told the Massat about the Flame Seeker prophecies. Whoa. We actually got to see it. I loved that. It was really good. Now, there was a response to that. I don't remember if we read that in-game or not. So I'm just going to read it here. I can't remember. Did we find this? There is a response. I think we might have. Anyway, the reverse enchantment on the scroll is incorrect, but many of the runes are still present. The scraps nearby indicate it took a few tries. And it just says this. My mother's gleam. She held no closer friend in the years after your parting, not even my father. It was by our cunning and mastery that we survived the war. The seers were incessant, and it took drastic measures to put an end to things, i.e. spectral agony. I need not to linger on regret, but even I wince at the echoing screams of the valley. We did read this. Anyway, many of our preeminent arcanists have done extensive meditational scrying on Glint's prophecies. Resulting visions have been inconsistent, but also disturbing. Revelations of annihilation. Our city drowning in blood and swallowed by the earth. Our leaders say it will take time to delve further and act accordingly. They're suspicious of the source all the same, but I harbour no misgivings of you, Goss. You have provided us a great service, as troubling as our findings may be. Worry not, we'll do whatever is necessary to persist. Count on it. Miri. Miri being another Massat, I suppose. Yeah, so that's a bit about... what struck me just reading this morning was... it kind of gives this cool impression that the Flame Seeker prophecies were really nasty and powerful with their depictions of the destruction of the whole city. If you actually look at the snippets of the Flame Seeker prophecies that we've read in the game before, like that guy, Mirak the Scribe or whatever, shouting shit in post-searing Ascalon, they're just these tiny little snippets. But no, actually, there's a lot of really horrendous detail about this whole city being destroyed. So then we got this. So this is some lore. I don't know where it is. It's in Bavanisos. I don't even know who's writing this. But it's a letter back to the Coden at Harvest Den. It says, hand this letter to the Claw of Harvest Den. Which I assume the idea there is that's written on the front of the letter before you open it. And it says this. I write with urgency, Alder. No, I don't even know if this is a Coden writing it. I write with urgency, Alder. We have finally revealed the source of the blight, and what a monstrous sight it is. A stranger has become one with an abandoned city. A city that somehow eluded us all these years. Thanks to Mabon, I guess, with that. Well, it is funny, actually. Isn't there a period of time where Bavanisos was at its height? The Lowland Coden were here. And they could have learnt about it, right? I don't know. The Skywatchers say that it was shielded by a ward. Skywatchers being the Astral Ward. Say it was shielded by a ward of some type, which kept the city hidden from the naked eye. The stranger was left within this ward and, as we've witnessed with the others, adapted to its habitat. It lingered for many lifetimes. It grew and consumed until it became unlike the three we hunted on the Thundering Isle. Although it seems petrified by stone, this one's maw could consume all the den in a single bite. The smell... it's worse than a rotted corpse, sickly sweet and sour. The smell penetrates everything around us. That description of a corpse smell is the same everywhere you look, anywhere. Always sickly sweet. The Skywatchers say that to defeat it, we must destroy its organs. As the body is so large, there's simply no other advantage, and until the organs have been stilled, it continues to regenerate its life fire. Now, you'll notice Wiki has backlinked the word life fire there. And that's not a backlink, is it? It's just a link. Anyway, it's connected to life fire. Now, that's not a term I've ever heard. Life fire? So I moused over it wondering, oh, what are they going to say? Is that the life force or some shit? No, actually, it's a specific thing being alluded to in the new Fractal, which we'll be playing very soon, Kinfall. So we'll learn about life fire. I guess it's just the Coden's interpretation of spirit or whatever. We'll see. I admit that I'm conflicted by the brutality. It might have been in Season 3 as well, with the crack in the ice, I don't know. I admit that I'm conflicted by the brutality of this, but there seems to be no other way. While we fight back against the body, the Wayfinder's party is seeking to shut a poisonous gate at the heart of the city. This gate is feeding the stranger somehow, giving it even more power. I raise my spear nonetheless. I encourage you to hold firm at home. If circumstances were to collapse here, our people will need their leader. So there's not really any lore bombs here, but I like this because, you know, the whole expansion is about the Coden struggling with the Mistburn and Titans wandering around, right? Blighting their lands. That's the premise of the expansion, and to just take a minute to reflect and remember that at the end, I think is important. And then this is the last bit of lore here. I only have 2 more screenshots, and then we're done with all of this. There's a Priory Scholar here discussing with another Priory Scholar. And he says, despite all the warnings, they opened the Mist Gate? Who would be so foolish? And then the other Priory Scholar, who's a female Sylvari, let's say. I'm going to do male Asura and a female Sylvari. We are talking about the White Mantle here. They're hardly bastions of reason. I get that, but even they should have had some sense of self-preservation, don't you think? Perhaps, but zealots can sometimes move beyond just their cause. Their actions become more focused toward hurting those that they view as enemies. That's horrible and sad. There you go. We actually found those 2 NPCs in-game just now. Yeah, so meta commentary, blah, 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 whatever. But yeah, I wanted to highlight this, okay? Arenanet are pretty explicit here. The White Mantle opened the gate. There's no weird way around this. The story is there's this epic gate that will not open for the Massat. They cannot get this fucking thing to open in any way they imagine. Eventually they bring the keystone over, they commit all these slaughters and sacrifices, they seem to think that'll be the way through. They cannot get the fucking door to open. We get no detail about why or how or what their methods were, but it will not open. 250 years later, these White Mantle are whispered to, and they open the door, no problemo. The White Mantle did it. So, this whole Forerunner Reclaimer thing, I think we have to put a pin in it, guys. Anyway. So, yeah, then I got 2 comments from you guys. The first one here is from Hardy. On this last piece of lore. There's another piece of lore in the map. Hardy says this. Someone's comment you posted talked about a note left by Tatiana that isn't on the wiki. It got me looking for it. Lol, amazingly, I was able to find it with just the vague, it's way up high comment. Lol. And so Hardy says, basically, in the landing area, an Asura opens a portal to fight, destroy a Bloodstone Tower or whatever. You take the portal, and when you load, fly towards the ruined building in the distance. On the left side of the ruins building side, towards the top, you'll see 2 open windows that aren't Bloodstone. And inside there's a discarded note. So I tried to follow these instructions. I really did, alright? And I'll follow them on screen again now. Right, so you go to the landing zone, you find a portal. Now, I don't know whether an Asura opened it. There isn't even a portal here now. Earlier, there was a portal here. And I found it, but I don't know whether an Asura opened it. Nonetheless, I went in the portal. And then what did I see on the other side of the portal? I was like out here. And your instruction, there's a ruined building in the distance. Fly to it. Maybe that makes sense in one respect. But it's not a very good instruction. Because anywhere you ever look here, there's a ruined building far away in the distance. I mean, what? It's probably true that you fly to the ruined building in the distance. But it's not specific enough. So honestly, I was flying around for ages. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find this note. Sorry, guys. And I couldn't find it on Wiki either. Why there's a Tatiana note buried really high up? Like, how the fuck the White Mantle even get up there? I don't know. I like the idea that Svias is, like, actively still fucking with the buildings and lifting them up and lowering them down as he breathes, you know? Like, the whole city is pulsing and moving and shifting around. Now, that would have been epic. If they got all that engine shit in there, that would have been amazing. Anyway, so in it there's a discarded note. Not sure if it's lore relevant, but it definitely shows the deteriorating mindset of those Mantle people. So I don't have a quote, but a couple of people have talked about this in the comments. No one's actually just written it. And as far as I know, it's not on the wiki. It shows the deteriorating mindset of the White Mantle. It doesn't sound like we're missing anything that great, but you know. Okay, as for the Titans, also having demons in them, it reminds me of the Void Sent in 14. They can consume other Void. They retain their thoughts and memories, but there's a dominant personality. Or maybe that's a stretch. Sometimes Arenanet mysteries can be so vague and or missing so much information, it's more frustrating than intriguing. I've definitely felt that in recent years. I'm upset to say. We have a message and a party info. Oh, this guy says he's at the note. Kroll is at the note? Really? Oh, Broken, you're a legend. You found it. Holy shit, look at this. Oh my god, there's a lot there. Oh my god. Please tell me we didn't already read this. Dude, amazing. Thank you so much. Alright, here we go. Ulrich and Judge are staring at me right now. It's like they can't look away. I can tell they're disappointed in me. Poor Tatiana with her untamed hair and chewed nails and her whispering and her breathing and her hunger. Look at her ribs and her eyes and the dirt on her clothes. Look at her wither and rot. Ah! Their eyes are filled with thoughts and resentment, but I do not care. It's fine because I found 6 rocks and lined them all up in a row. 6 days until he saves us, until he rewards my devotion. I think I will eat 1 each day. So, by the way, this thing whispering to them is masculine, right? They're saying he, him. That fits the bill for Menzies. Or, you know, does Svias, is that a gendered name? I mean, 6 days until he saves us, until he... Because I still don't know whether it's Menzies whispering or Svias whispering. I think I'll eat 1 each day. Eat a rock each day. I think I will eat 1 each day to show him I am ready to ground my body to this place. I don't need food or Ulrich or Judge to keep me alive. Wow, that's amazing. That's really creepy. That's very gritty. Dude, I wish Guild Wars went into this stuff a little bit more. You know, I was reading a thread earlier, guys. It was like a meme post. And it was so it's a question for you, all right? You're standing on a crossroads. There's a signpost in front of you. To the left is Raccoon City. To the right is Silent Hill. And it was which you have to go to one. Which place do you pick? And you know, people were joking in the comments. Oh, I'll spin 360 around and walk away. You know, shit like that. But people were like getting into the lore of these like universes and locations, and there's so much crazy fucked up. I mean, I guess the point is Guild Wars isn't a horror game. Anyway, okay, so she's eating the rocks. It sounds like the right choice was Raccoon City, by the way. And just don't go underground. And then all you have to deal with is zombies, and you'll sort of be alright. Anyway, I heard Ulrich call me delicate behind my back. They forget I have ears and that I listen. But it is they who are ignorant. It is not Saul or Cordicus who guides us here. Oh, look, there's a Saul reference in this. This immediately makes it a banger. They were simply conduits to a greater plan. Or even Saul? I am now... Well, as far as she's concerned, she doesn't distinguish. She doesn't get it. I am now his vassal. I will be welcomed into his arms first, and all will be well. It'll be warm, and there'll be enough food to live on for the rest of my life. I will see my sister and my brother, and Ulrich and Judge will stop staring at me. I will be the last happy one. Wow. I was thinking 6 rocks, 6 gods for a little while there. Damn. I think there's too much in Janthir Wilds talking about how they were manipulated for it to just turn out to be the Titan. And I know we already discussed it all, and we said, look, if it's not the Titan, then what the fuck is this story? Oh, Mabon showed it mercy. What a crime! Except it didn't do anything. So what? I get it. It's going to lead into a weird thing where there was no real drama here. But I think that is where it's leading. I do think... I don't think it's as simple as it was just the Titan the whole time. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, that's so good. Thank you for leading me here. It's fun to think that there's even more lore that people haven't found, you know? Like notes. At least one from each of them. I say again, one of the best things about the Icebreed Saga and a little bit about End of Dragons was when they did those little lore conversations that were streaming in between patches. I'd kill for those right now. They'd be so good, wouldn't they? Right. So here's the last one, guys. This is from Kane. He says, hey, WP, a few things. Firstly, what does tesserae mean? See, I know this is too easy now, though. I've probably actually retained that. I don't know. A tesserae is like a constituent piece of a mosaic. The actual material it's made of, or its size or whatever, doesn't necessarily matter. You know, usually it will be a little bit of tile, or it could be a jewel, or, you know, whatever. It's just a piece of a mosaic. The tesserae. There you go. I remember. We have learned. So, but on a more serious topic. So, let me try to wrap my head around this. Menzies, or whoever the big bad is in the foundry and somehow whispers to 3 average humans, White Mantle, to travel across Tyria to enter a forbidden city that's been locked down by a powerful wizard, Mabon, fight through Svias Saxum and its minions so that they can open a mist gate that one of the most powerful spellcasting races on Tyria couldn't open, so that they can enter the foundry and forge some titans out of their own souls. Is that the prevailing theory? If so, that has got to be one of the worst plans I've ever heard of, with so many ways it could go wrong. Well, it's kind of the prevailing theory. You could be in the camp where you say it's Svias that was doing all that, which removes certain complications. Like, Svias is clearly not in the way at that point, right? Thing is, I just don't think it can be Svias. Think about the ending of the last patch. There's the door that's closed. No, not the door of Kamali. No, not the mist gate. They're just the door locking off the center of the city, right? That's closed. It's forced shut. Isgara, and no one can get through it. They make out it's not Titan level magic. It's beyond Titan level magic. The reason that door was shut can't have just been because there was a Titan on the other side. Anyway. Not to mention, we've also theorized that the door leading into Barvanisos was sealed by shadow magic, which was Menzies' own doing. Surely he could have come up with a better plan. I mean, as I understand it, there's no shortage of souls in the mist he could have made titans with. If he needed humans to open the mist portal, why choose these 3 random White Mantle instead of, I don't know, Livia, the person who has the scepter that he wants? Or anyone in the Wizard's Court, for that matter. Well, maybe only because these White Mantle were susceptible and crazy and, you know, he could be influenced. Not everyone can be influenced, right? And then why seal the gate to the city anyway? Well, he sealed it after they went in to stop us from getting there. And where do the demons factor in? None of it makes sense to you. I think more of it makes sense than you're giving it credit here. Anyway, for my second point, when you said that it makes no sense the Massart would open a gate to the Foundry when they're trying to escape the Titans, you assume they knew where the gate led to. Was it written somewhere that the Massart knew that the gate led to the Foundry? No, it's never written that they know where. We assume that they're trying to get to Nyos, but I don't remember an explicit moment where it says, oh, they're in Nyos, we're going back to Nyos or something. They're just trying to get away from Tyria. They're trying to escape their exile. Whether that's to Nyos or to a third-party place where the bulk of Massart civilization now is, because we know Nyos is wrecked. Did the exiles know that Nyos was wrecked? I don't think they did, right? Because Mabon thought that it was fine there. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I think it can be configured. The destination can be configured. Mabon says it can be configured. I don't think they were trying to go to the Foundry. They were trying to go elsewhere, and it's only since been adjusted. Anyway, wouldn't it be a cruel twist of irony that the Massart, in desperately trying to escape the Titans, found this random gate, not knowing where it led, but it's better than Tyria at that point, only for it to open on its own and start spawning Titans in the heart of their capital city? That's incredibly tragic and proves they couldn't escape the Flameseeker prophecies no matter how hard they tried. I like that element, if true, but it's all speculation. Yeah, I think it's kind of an interesting tragedy and it's a fun story, but it's not a random gate. They specifically sought it out. They alluded to knowing how it worked in a lot of ways. I think it's a bit rich to suggest they were just trying to... They were accidentally going to the Foundry. Like, the whole time... The only thing they're ignorant of is how to open it. They seem to know a lot more about it, you know, than that. Speaking of speculation, about that missing trademark or whatever, I know nothing about trademark law. So yeah, in the last part, we were talking a bit about how there's no trademark that's popped up for the next mini X-Pack. Now, a couple of things... There are two main things that people have talked about since then that I just want to quickly go over. One of them, and then this comment's going to go over the second. So, it has been suggested by a lot of you that here's how it works, okay? My name is Joe Schmo. I work at Arenanet. I know what the new expansion is. I'm a little bit higher up at Arenanet, alright, maybe. And it's come to the point where we've named it Guild Wars 2 Cogs of War, okay? And we want to trademark Guild Wars 2 Cogs of War. But the thing is, we're not going to have NC Soft West do that. We're not going to have Arenanet do that. What I'm going to do, Joe Schmo, is I'm going to make my own... I'm going to register my own little, like, company that no random Guild Wars 2 nerds know about. And I'm going to call it Joe Schmo Enterprises. And Joe Schmo Enterprises is going to register Cogs of War. So when it comes to WoodenPotatoes digging through fucking trademarks and stuff, there's no way WoodenPotatoes is going to find it, because I don't know how to look for Joe Schmo, you know? It could be David Smith, right? To take a very common UK name there. Welsh, I guess. There's too many of them out there. There's no way. So that's how you, like, hide it in plain sight. But it's still... So now if a third company comes along, right, Inkspores in chat, Inkspores is making his own MMO, and he's about to register it, and he wants his MMO to be called Cogs of War. There's a conflict, and he's like, well, what the fuck? So then, but now he's in contact with Joe Schmo, and they can sort it all out. So in this way, you can trademark things, and the fans are none the wiser. The fans have to do some serious sleuthing. So apparently some of the trademarks have been like Secret River or whatever, and it's like a vague reference to Guild Wars 1 or whatever. But that's how they do it. So as for all that conversation on the last stream where someone in chat was saying, oh, I know how to find them, I found them every time or whatever, but they're not there this time. I don't know, maybe Arenanet just wised up and they're using Joe Schmo this year instead of anything else. That's one thing that a lot of people have discussed. Now here's number two, okay, because this has come up a few times. I'll give it to you guys here from Kane. Here's the other thing. Speaking about speculation, about the missing trademark or whatever, I know nothing about trademark law, so forgive me if I sound dumb, but someone mentioned that likely the only reason Arenanet haven't filed a trademark for the new expansion is because it's something they already trademarked. Interesting. My first thought went to Utopia. But they cannot trademark Utopia because it exists as a world concept in real life. But what if they haven't filed a trademark for it because of that reason? Is that possible? To that end, what if a Zoteka is our next destination? There has been a lot of misshenanigans in Guild Wars 2 already. It'd be quite poetic for the last Guild Wars 2 expansion to be the cancelled last expansion of Guild Wars 1. And what would it be like? Obviously, Utopia had limited development, as I understand it. Little more than some concept art and some possible profession names, for which there already is in Guild Wars 2, the Chronomancer. But what if they made Zoteka the home of the rest of the Massart race, and now they are embroiled in a war with Menzies, or maybe the new home of the human gods? Unlikely, as I think that's a plot beat too big even for Arenanet to attempt in Guild Wars 2. Or maybe it's closer to their original vision, and just a new place with new people. Some of the concept art looked a lot like Forgotten Constructs to me, so maybe we'll get some Forgotten and delve into Vas and Akeem stories. We've already had a lot from the other Elder races after all. I'm just spitballing at this point, and I know it's pretty far-fetched, but it's fun to think about. Okay, so, they've already trademarked Utopia, so they're going to do Utopia. I don't know. But they do have a lot of old trademarks, right? They do throw a bunch around. I don't know. Utopia, just as a separate topic, moving on from the trademark thing, just to talk about Utopia, I do think what you just said there is very poetic. But we're kind of making a tacit assumption there, aren't we? That this next mini-X pack is the end of the road. Why are we doing that? Do you know something I don't? As far as public information is concerned, they're not moving on from Guild Wars 2, or, you know, they're going to continue funding it. They've got a good team. They actually said they expanded the team slightly, and it's mini-X packs from here on out. You know, like there have been these suggestions that they originally signed off on 3 mini-X packs, right? And therefore we can assume maybe this is a 3-part story structure or whatever, you know, and the last one will be the climax with the wizards, maybe. You can maybe say that. But I don't know, like, is it with the last big paid product ever for Guild Wars 2 is next year, so therefore it has to be Utopia because of that. I don't know, man. I don't really believe in that. But what I will say is just Utopia does fit into this storyline very well. You know, plenty of... Let's not say it's just 3. Imagine that there's 4 or 5, right? Dealing with Isgara and the Wizard's Tower, convergences, right? The convergences, extra planar threats. The final setting... for a big arc like that, yeah, Utopia would be very good. I'd say either 2 things, Zoteka or the Hall of the Heroes. They're both excellent locations to have it all end at, right? You know, if we're dealing with the Mist, and other realms in the Mists, and the mystery of the Mists, you know, eventually you got to talk about the Rift, and the Hall of the Heroes at the heart of everything, right? It kind of feels like all roads lead there, and that would be a fun thing. But does that have to happen this summer? Does it have to happen next summer? Or, you know, do we keep stringing it out for a while? I'm excited about these ideas, but on the other hand, Janthir Wilds right now has been so thin with a lot of its world building and the story detail. I'm a little bit burned by it. Like, I don't know. Like, one place is as good as any if you're just going to be very thin with this stuff. So we'll see. But yeah, like, I hadn't really been thinking about Zoteka much recently. And it is true, they kind of canonized Zoteka recently with the Guild Wars 2 art book. I think it's more viable and possible than not. And there you go. So that's it, guys. That's the lore that we missed. That's a bit of exploration. That's the mastery point that we missed. That's some of your final commentary. I think everything that we have to say has been said. Let's get on now, and I'll basically pass that over to chatting with you guys in the live chat now. So if you guys have got thoughts and feelings and stuff, drop them down, and I'll start reading more. So, 2 side quests. First is Teleportation Gizmos Collector. Collect various teleportation gizmos. You can update progress for this achievement by traveling to Lion's Arch and meeting one of these conditions. You have the item, you have put a scroll in a portal tome, or you've completed a related achievement. My magnum opus from Crisol, the shiniest shiny. We get the well-traveled achievement title for this. So this is the Wizard's Portal Tome. Double-click to travel to various areas around Tyria. Destination options are based on progress in the Teleportation Gizmos Collector achievement. This is the one mega portal. And we get it for completing this achievement, Work Hard for Now. So we do all these objectives on Work Hard for Now, and we get the tome itself. The tome itself has however many destinations. I've got all of these. The Lion's Pride for doing the everything in Season 1, basically. You know, the Season 2 stuff, the Season 3 stuff, the Season 4 stuff, the Icebreed Saga stuff, the End of Dragon stuff. The only thing you'll see I'm missing here is the Hall of Monuments Portal Stone, because I'd have to rebuy it at Hooligan's Route. I guess we can go and do that. Liz hasn't had a Hall of Monuments Portal Stone on her for years. It's really weird. I got a comment the other day of someone saying, oh my god. They were playing... Sorry, it wasn't a comment. It was over in the Spud Discord in the Guild Wars 1 channel. Someone had started Eye of the North. And they dropped a comment and they said, oh my god, I didn't realize the Eye of the North was here in the original game. I thought it was just added in the Icebreed Saga. That's what their comment was, which is really funny and amazing. Because in one way... There you go. Now we've got it. In one way, it's like, what the fuck? You didn't even know it was a Guild Wars 1 when it was like the bridge between the two games. But number 2, thinking it came from the Icebreed Saga? No, what? No, it was here. It's from launch Guild Wars 2. This is the launch place, you know. The Icebreed Saga even is not where it came in Guild Wars 2. And it's just funny to see, like, how much time has passed and how, you know, things keep... for me, this is Guild Wars, right? This is the Hall of Monuments. It's a place you go to get these pets and stuff. And there's nothing else really here. It's funny to think, no. There's all the Icebreed Saga version of it now, and for years and years and years and years now, that's been the main way most people have interfaced with the fucking place. I still love this area, though. Well, there you go. So it's cool that they put this in the tome. By the way, I was kind of curious, talking about the end of all things with Guild Wars. Doesn't this kind of suggest they're never going to add more portal stones? What happens next Mini-X pack, where there's new destinations? Are they going to come back and update this rare collection and add some more objectives to it? That's not Arenanet's MO, right? To do that. They don't expand on them. I guess they'll just add another one clunkily. A bit like what they do with relics, say. Oh, and by the way, if you guys have been curious about all of these are the really old Season 1 ones, where it's like a scroll just to the Black Citadel, or just to Divinity's Reach, or just to Holbreck. The best one is this, the Lion's Arch one. That one's genuinely really handy. But these are really hard to craft, and I thought it's insanely expensive. You know, the tooltips here are actually phenomenal. I have to hand it to the Guild Wars 2 team. Because this is written really well. Actually, in-game teaching you some very obscure old recipes. So here, this is an essence of Halloween. And then a bunch of leather. The Lion's Arch one is... So you've got to make the essence of the East, the West. 50 coins. I mean, they're expensive. They're very expensive. These remind me of, there's another, it's like the portable Mystic Forge thing. Is that still on the TP? I feel bad because I had one of those back in the day. Here you go, Mystic Forge. Oh, it's pretty cheap. Wait, why is this cheap now? Did they add another source of it? Oh, this is the OG one. It's not account bound. So if you want the big prestige, you want the true, you want the best, like, you know, when we open our inventory here and we've got all the cool icons, if you want to complete the set, really, it's this, which is 1,000 gold. But yeah, you've got to get these cores and combine them together. Anyway, it's really fun to see some of, this is some obscure stuff, and it's very clearly detailed how you get it all. And they'd be locations in the tome too. Alright, well there you go. Okay, the funny thing is, the more you have to click around... So, like, when I look at these, right, when I get the Arborstone Portal Scroll, I really like it. It's a very quick double click, and then I'm there. And because because it's Janthir, it's a big money saving as well, like in terms of silver. It's like 20 silver to get here or something, which you've saved, which is huge. You know, both directions. We're talking about half a gold. Well, no, I think it's like 10 silver, right, each, so the full trip is like... You know, you do 2 trips to Arborstone, and we're talking about half a gold. Yeah, 10 silver to get from here to DR. If we go really extreme with it up here, it's 1049. Anyway, so this saves you money, but it's one click, and it's really quick, and it's handy for that. You know, Lion's Pride is one click. What I always kind of don't like much is when I want to go to the Eye of the North, you have to open the tome, and then, like... I like it to be quick and easy. Now, this new thing, the Mega Tome... If I'm going to have to do, like, shitloads of clicks to navigate all the way into... You know, what am I going to do? Read it, and it says... Select a Tyrian location. Select a Crichton location. Blah, blah, blah. Like, it loses its value. At a certain point, I may as well just hit M, click this, and then go, you know? Or click this, and then go. But anyway, obviously I want to do the content regardless. So, work hard for now. That's what we're on. Uncover the tale of a memory-seeking artifact and its true purpose. Note, you will need more than a raptor mount to get this done. So, you'll notice so here, Minya's Guide to Memory Essences. So, we already did this. She set us off on our quest. So, we need to go collect these memory essences all over the world. And a lot of it, as far as I can make out, is going to be jumping puzzles. Now, I've already got this one. Now, why do you have this, WP? You're supposed to be streaming it. How dare you? Well, here, so I'll read it for you. Memory Essence Gendaran Fields. There were so many evacuees after the attack, it's hard to imagine losing your home. Thankfully, the Vigil offered a place of safety, while we tried to help those still trapped. And the hint is, how many walls did you think were bluffing you? I really thought this mountain was the entrance. So what you can get from this, okay... is it's in Gendaran Fields. It's clearly talking about the big Lion's Arch attack during Season 1. So we're thinking about a Season 1 patch. And now it's talking about Gendaran Fields with a mountain entrance that's bluffing us. Well, that's the not-so-secret jumping puzzle, isn't it? That's this area in Gendaran where there's a holographic mountain wall. You walk through and you do the not-so-secret puzzle. It's a part of Season 1 during the Lion's Arch attack. So you read the hint, you figure out where it is, you go get it. Now, why do I have that already? Completely accidental, really. It's because just separately in my own time, while I've been playing, I've been working on Sunrise here, this achievement here. And a lot of these were jumping puzzles. So like the Collapsed Observatory, Fawcett's Bounty. I recorded a bunch of these that I might use in background footage for an essay or something, a review at some point. But so I was doing these bottom rung. One of them had me go to the not so secret jumping puzzle. So I went there while I was working on Sunrise, or sorry, the precursor, Dawn. And as I was in the not so secret jumping puzzle, I just saw there was like an achievement icon, and there was a Scrit standing on one of the pipes. And I was like, what the fuck's this Scrit doing here? Not thinking, it was just, you know. So I just pressed F, and it dinged work hard for now. I didn't even realize that I could do that. I thought I'd have to do it all in order. And I thought, oh shit. So basically what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to travel around the world finding Scrit. And I accidentally already found one in the not-so-secret jumping puzzle. Sorry about that. By the way, can I just note, that puzzle is brutal and not fun to go back to. Thankfully, that shaman has a YouTube video series of jumping puzzle skips, where he uses mounts and gliders and stuff to, like, skip through them. And they're all really fascinating. His one for not-so-secret is very handy. Very handy. Definitely check out his one for not-so-secret. And that's what I ended up using. I found the Scrit, died a couple of times, so I was like, fuck this. It's funny, right? His video series on that is all like map breakouts and stuff. I remember back in the day doing a video at Garenhof, right? Where, you know, you've got the personal story instance here where there's the Arcane Eye lab. There's an Inquest lab hidden underneath Garenhof. I found out you could stand on this cliff here, and if you saw your mini had clipped into the terrain, you could log out and log back in. And when you logged back in, the game didn't know what to do with you, but so it put you in the lab. Just as it didn't know what to do with the mini, and it put the mini in the lab, it would do that for you. So I realized there was this technique of, like, watching where your minis go, and log out, log in. Really cool, really interesting. And then you would be in the open world, but in the lab. Really fun. I did a video about it, and I did a video about void jumping as well, where you fall out of the map, and then you log out and back in, and you end up high above where you were, because it doesn't know where to put the coordinate. Just breakout stuff. And I got an official warning from, was it the partner program at the time? I got a warning, don't do that, don't show that off. So I was like, okay, all right, I won't make that content anymore. Fast forward a few years later, like I'm not trying to put Shaman in it or anything. But it's funny how as soon as mounts came out and, like, you know, all that stuff's just like nobody gives a shit anymore. You know, break out anywhere you can, do anything you can, skip the jumping puzzles however you can. And it's a brilliant series and a well worth series, but it's funny how times change. Anyway, right, let's actually fucking play the game, shall we? So Memory Essence, Blaze Ridge Steps. So what I've got is on my other screen, I have the wiki page for this entire thing ready to go. And just a tip to anyone, if you want to do that as well, just go to your chat box. Is broken logged out? No. You just go to your chat box. Oh, let's turn off... my ArcDPS visuals broke. The font isn't being picked up anymore. I need to figure out what's going on with that. Anyway, just type /wiki. You're looking over here on the top left. And then type the name of the achievement you want. Work hard for now. If you press enter, it will open the guide for whatever you want. I really think that Arenanet should put a little clickable button next to the eye. Like a wiki button. Anyway. So I have it open, but I will try to do them on my own. First. So, Blaze Ridge Steps. To think we'd have to go so high, I think fate is waiting on us, script friend. Adventure is out there. The hint is, didn't you have to scale this monument to have a sky-scale egg experience, acrophobia? Luckily, we took a small detour to look at some flowers. I don't really know what it means with the whole acrophobia thing, but I seem to remember in Blaze Ridge there was a moment where you come up here at the monument grounds. Don't you climb up near that vista or something? Where the Great Northern Wall crosses the brand. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think big magical disasters are where Guild Wars world building is at its strongest and most fun. And this is such a cool place because it's a mix of two of them. Yeah, it looks... I can see the icon up there. So we got that one right. Here you go. Shiny object. To be honest, I don't really remember coming here getting the sky scale, but they have it. I like the icon for this, by the way. Isn't that the piece of paper, the child's drawing of a char that you eat for karma? Alright, next. Memory Essence Blood-Tide Coast. To think there's so much danger just south of Lion's Arch. Pirates, jungle worms, frost legion. Keeping your balance while carrying an explosive keg through the depths was quite a challenge. Not to mention the large worm heads. Keeping your balance while carrying an explosive keg through the depths. So it seems to be talking about Triple Trouble. Now, at the Cobalt Worm for Triple Trouble, you carry kegs. But that's... there's no depths. The other sites don't feature kegs. The other thing is, there's a cave here. I don't really remember any kegs in there. But it's sort of a mining area, and it's sort of central to where Triple Trouble was happening. So maybe it's something to do with this? Okay, can I just say, guys, once we're done with this, we're going to do the Kinfall Fractal. It's going to be the last thing we see for the expansion. Obviously, that's a Fractal. It's 5-man content. I'm happy to do it at any scale. Scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So don't be intimidated. Don't feel like you're bad at the game, or people are going to laugh at you, or you're not going to know what's going on. I'm going blind. I'm going to be going slow. I'm going to be reading the dialogue and just taking it easy, all right? So apparently it's a classically designed Fractal. So what I'm going to leave is I'm going to leave Broken's party here. So if you guys want to play with me on that Fractal, Kinfall, the newest Fractal, it just came out. Join on my party if you want to. All you have to do is type in your chat box /join lists. I'm on EU, okay? I'm on Europe right now. So sorry to North Americans, you can't play with me. If you're playing on NA, you can't play with me. But any EU people, we'll get a party going for the Kinfall Fractal. And while I do this adventure, you guys can join. So no rush, we got plenty of time. But yeah, yeah, I don't see any Scrit around here. Do I have any other guesses? Well, hold on, what about the room with the vista and like the plants? Yeah, is it up there maybe? Yeah, there you go. Banjo just typed it in chat. Thank you, Banjo. Yeah, if you guys want to play, again, there's no pressure. It'll be fun and easy. I think too many people get pressured out of doing co-op content in the game when really it's not a big deal. And if it's like a quick and easy breezy experience like Volcanic or whatever, I'm actually really looking forward to it. I feel like we've needed more Fractals like that for a long time. I don't know. I guess I got my guess wrong on this one. I'm going to look over at Wiki now and see where it thinks. Weird. Oh, this might not be reasonable. So... where the fuck? No, it's going to be down here, isn't it? Yeah, it's here. Oh, maybe it is reasonable. Oh, through the depths? It means like watery depths. It doesn't mean like earthen depths. Okay, maybe it is reasonable. So it is over at the Cobalt Beach where you do the powder kegs. That's amazing, because Arenanet have to know that not everyone's done Triple Trouble and would know and remember the kegs immediately. Wiki says that it's somewhere in the water around here. Well, maybe not in the water, actually. Oh, it's there. I can see it on the minimap. I can see it on the minimap. Oh, it should probably be on the flotsam. Oh, it's up. Oh, it's in the crow's nest. That's cool. Oh, that is very cool. There you go. So we got one person looking for 3 more. There we go. Shiny object. Memory essence for the Brisbane Wildlands. I wonder if we'll find any more scratches of this size out there. So fascinating. The only thing hidden about this place was one of those branches. So many roller beetles were caught on them. Okay, that's funny. So, Brisbane, obviously you've got Skritzberg, the largest scratch in the game. Now, the roller beetle race has you come around here, right? And there's a moment when you're near it where there's like a branch that you can bump into. but it's like an arch and you can perfectly go under it. Do you guys know what I mean? Oh, by the way, when they added that roller beetle race to South Sun, it was like a roller beetle racing week, and you were encouraged to go do all of these once. So that's the only reason I can fully remember that, because I just did it. Let's do it again, because that'll be fun. It's like in the first third of the course, I think. Going for speed. Go. Oh, not a good opening, I have to say. This is the one that I was talking about earlier. That's really hard for gold. Here we go. Here's the branch. This branch here. Ah, my overload ended. I was going to kill that thing. I don't see the icon anywhere. Yeah, I think I've been led astray by the branch. Let's go into Skritzberg. Does it say... The only thing hidden about this place was those branches. Okay, as far as I can see, reading each of these, the blue text at the top is not as instructive as the hint text. So maybe... So the blue text talks about Skritzberg, but maybe I ignore that. The only thing hidden about this place was those branches. So many roller beetles were caught on them. I just did this for Sunrise, and there wasn't anything there at Aurora's remains. What else is hidden? There's this nice, like, green area. I'm glad the city's open, by the way. This has really nothing to do with the roller beetle course, though. WP, do you remember that guy being a traffic cone to make you dodge him? Being a traffic cone? I remember people would, like, get in tree tonics or bush tonics. And, yeah, it was very fun. Being a traffic cone, though. I don't remember a traffic cone. There's a recurring gimmick in the clue construction. Is there? Is it that it's always the name of a POI or something? Scale this monument. D for debt. I'm like looking at the capitalized words. There is a capitalized letter every time. Hold on. Monument is capitalized here. Depth is capitalized here. H is capitalized here. Is it spelling out a word? How does the letter H help me? Someone was a bright orange candy cane to make people not hear. Oh, right, okay. One of the candy cane elementals from Halloween. I don't know. I give up on this one. Sorry I'm quitting a bit quick, but at the end of the day... Oh, I see. Hidden. H for hidden. The word hidden. There's probably like Monument Grounds was one of the other ones. Oh, they were talking about one of these branches. Oh, well, here we go. Here's the script. I see. Okay, maybe we figured the gimmick out now then. Work hard for now. To awaken from a dream into the real world must be a shock. How do you know friend from foe? But no time for dark thoughts. Let's check out the market. Hint. We had our own vista with a view of the bay, the market, the Hylic, and the Tengu. That's obviously the Mabon market. It's at Ventry Bay. B for Bay. Somewhere around here. Probably the island with the Soundless. There's so much shit going on in this area of the world. I like how the telegraphing's working here. Like, you get close enough and it pops up on the minimap. But if you're not close enough, it won't. Did it say something about a vista? We had our own vista with a view of the bay, the market, and the Hylic and the Tengu. No, it doesn't mean literal vista, does it? It means I need to stand somewhere where I can see them all. We had our own vista with a view of the bay, the market, the Hylic, and the Tengu. Well, the Tengu I assume means the wall. Try just going over to the Soundless area a bit more. This is weird because I'm so confident I'm in the right area. And yet, the precise spot is like completely fucking eluding me. Maybe up on these rocks over here? Or on the southern shore, maybe? I'll check the south, then I'll waypoint and go up to the north. I'm curious about this player here, this spud that was standing on the south shore. I feel like that's a sneaky little telegraph. Could it be high up? Are they expecting me to have the sky scale every time? Look, he's over there now. Oh shit, it is here. I'll tell you what as well, guys. Because he was standing on that, I don't get to see the icon. Can you believe that? Because the guildie is on the thing, I don't see the icon. I only see the guild icon. How amazing is that? Okay, wow. Work hard for now. Memory Essence Cursed Shore. This area feels like the eternal battlegrounds. Risen everywhere. What if the gods came back and saw these shrines? Remember going around the temples trying to control the statues? That's weird. On this one, we get white text and blue text. I feel like they just messed up the color code in their localization string there. I am thirsty from all the walking we did, but I would not trust any of the water here. Water is the key word. Water appears somewhere on the map. I'm immediately thinking artesian waters, but... My first instinct was actually to go to the Narthex, the promenade of the gods. Harrowed Sea, the shipyard, the Mausolus Sea, the Penitent Part, the artesian waters. Do you think it's up at the... Okay, let's check. Let's check the Narthex first. This is 100% where I'd expect it to be, but you never know. I think it's honestly better to just stay on the world map, seeing if the icon pops up. See, this is all... This promenade here, all these are the statues of the gods, which can all be activated or deactivated based on how the temples are doing, which is very cool. I've always loved the layout of Arar and Or. It doesn't really work with the whole mega server thing, but how it was originally set up, it's just very clever. So nothing showed up there. All right, let's try the artesian waters then. Or is another example of... I remember when the game came out, a lot of people criticizing Or. Or's like map, you know, the actual map structure, the map design, the environment work in Or, because it's too higgledy-piggledy and sort of all jumbled together and sort of messed up. And it's a bit like the Barvanisos thing, isn't it? It's sort of the same situation. Oh, I just flew over it, I think. Oh, it's up there. Wow, sneaky. I like this. This is kind of cool. This is Arenanet saying, okay, here's some fun, strange spots to go to now that mounts are in the game. Yeah, because, of course, you can't actually go into Rez's chamber. It's behind there. And that is not open in the open world. I mean, they always could have done a patch that put an event there and opened the door or something, but no. One day. That's another mini X-Pack I'd still absolutely adore, right? Siren's Landing, but the mini X-Pack version of it. Be so good. It's crazy to think that that was such a big cool part of season 3 and it was like not originally scheduled. Remember season 3 was originally structured with 5 episodes and they only made it 6 later in the day. So like Siren's Landing and the destruction of actual Lazarus was kind of just like an extra bonus, if you will, which is kind of why it didn't work. You know, it's too big of a story to do in a single patch, which is disappointing. But the locale was a brilliant pick. Going to Siren's Landing was a brilliant... Put the Lazarus bit aside. And the Char joining the Shining Blade bit aside. Okay, so then we've got Diesa Plateau. Hey, you said you were some kind of Gladium? And that's a bad thing. Well, I think you're good, because you're you. And I can tell there's something special about you, script friend. Hint, I couldn't participate in that fest after seeing all those cattle. I'd rather just visit a different town and have strawberries. So, it could be Meatoverfest. Was my instinct the whole time, somewhere at Butcher's Block. But the reality is, since they mentioned the strawberries, and it's the town of Nolan, and town was the keyword, it's of course the Strawberry Patch. And I know what some of you are thinking, they've done it so often at the Strawberry Patch, it's ruined now. No, I'll always accept a Strawberry Patch visitation. Always love me some Strawberry Patch, good reason to come back. It's weird doing this, you know, doing Sunrise, going back to all the old JPs, it's so weird. I got really nostalgic about the series I shot with Mike, where we were, you know, visiting every single JP. You can find it here on YouTube, just go to my playlist, you'll see. It's like the jumping puzzle series where at launch me and him are playing through and like even like simple jumps and just controlling the character and like or knowing to have like 25% move speed or knowing how to get swiftness before doing a jump or knowing you're going to go in combat and that's going to slow you down. All these things are vaguely new to us, right? So like even small jumping puzzles are like really extraordinary and fun and like exciting. And so I was like playing through Zap, which took me to so many of those old locations. And you just do them just so instinctively and so quickly and so fast now. It's like, wow, man. This was like a magical 40-minute adventure before, and I just did it in about 100 seconds while listening to a podcast, you know, like while watching a Louis Theroux documentary about UFOs and not even really paying attention to the game. And it's funny, because some of them, quite often as well, it's like, it's just because you get used to it. You get used to how the blocks are set around. Like you can tell when there's a rock you're meant to jump on because it's like one of those smaller rocks that you can tell the environment designer's sunk into a cliff or something. You can just kind of feel it a lot more years later. But sometimes it's special. Like there was that Goonies one. I don't think I got it was a Goonies reference at the time. But like this one up here in Harathi. Like even find the door, I was a bit like, where's the door again? And there's this cool bit where there's this like cave with loads of rubble, and when you step on the rubble, it falls. So I was like running around on my jackal, like doing this, making it all fall, and like it's really cool. You don't see them do stuff like that much, but it's funny how hard. Like Griffin Rook Run. Let me ask you guys a question. When was the last time you went to goddamn Griffin Rook Run? Like I couldn't even really find the entrance. The entrance to Griffin. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna fuck it. Guys, the entrance to this JP, even years later coming back, this is obscene. This is one of the most hidden things Arenanet ever did. I don't know how the fuck we ever found it. We must have been on Wiki or something, looking up. Like, even now, I'm not too confident I'll find, and I did it just last week. It's so obscenely buried in all of this coral. I think it's down here. Like, discovering... You might think, no, this is obscene, WP. Like, they would never hide something this tight in between all this coral and shit. But they did. Is it this? Like, you could usually tell, right? Like, when there's rocks like this, you can see where they've... You can tell what's the actual, like, terrain, where it's very slopey and it's just been, like, morphed, essentially, right? And then when there's rocks that they've placed. And you can kind of get a feel for when the terrain is not there anymore and there's rocks instead, which means you're going to be able to swim through. But it's so well hidden, I don't think it's... Well, I can see because Liz has been there. And then this puzzle's a bitch as well. The other thing I had to do was I had to make a matrix cube key. I remember one of the very first big videos I did with Guild Wars 2 after Guild Wars 2 was out. That wasn't like a video essay or something. Oh, here, I think it's here. Look at this. Look at this shit. You've got to, like, come down here, through this. And I know what you're thinking. No, oh, WP, this isn't it. There must be another way. I don't even fucking see what's going on here. Through here. Through here. This is the right place, I'm telling you. And then it's like... No, we don't go up. Well, can you go up? Because this doesn't have collision. No. Let's try and go around the archway. Out. And then... Ah, here we go. Through here. Whoa. You know what? This is like that Oblivion episode we just did. Where I'm looking for a ring. Under what? Here. Through this. Look at this. And then through this, and then through this, and now you're in. Like, I'm not joking. That's how you're supposed to get through. That's obscenely hidden. They would never do something like that in a world with mounts now. And then you're off into the Griffin Rook run. There were so many cool little things like this. Anyway, I forget what the broader point I was going to make is. Yeah, so one of the first videos I did that blew up was, you know, like the Matrix Cube key. You had to find the key, and then you had to charge it at each of the 4 corners. And then after the meta, you go through the thing, and then you kill the guy. I went back there. Like, I was standing on the platform with, like, where you charge the icy bit of the key. This was, like, 2 nights ago. And I was just thinking to myself, I haven't been in here in years. It's been at least 10 years since I've stood in this area of Tyria. Like, a lot of times, you know, you'll come back here, you'll go where, you know, you'll like, I'm doing a playthrough of the personal story with Kerry at the moment. Like, you do things. But going back there, I honestly, it was so weird to just reminisce. It would be funny if this script thing took us there. I happen to know it doesn't, though, because I was there and there wasn't a script there. Right, okay. DS Plateau. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Did I get all the way to the strawberry patch and then just turn around like a numpty? You remember a couple of particularly long nights trying to work out where all of those were? Yeah, I don't remember. What were we doing? Were the exploration achievements all exposed? So we were just like trying to fill in... Was that what we were doing? It's so easy to forget shit like that as well, right? Because that's where... I mentioned this earlier in this series. That's where Guild Wars was really strong. You know, you look at a stream like this, you watch someone playing Janthir Wilds, you watch someone playing Secrets of the Obscure, you watch someone playing hell, even End of Dragons or something. You know, we're all nerds that have sort of been captured by the game, and like, we get caught up in certain conversations about it. The truth is, the average person's experience with this game and what really captured about it to them, and what they'll remember is the open world exploration and that first leveling experience and traveling through Tyria. So when we talk about a Guild Wars 3 or a Project Tyria type thing, those are places I would expect or think Arenanet are going to try to be very strong on again, because they did it so well before, and that's a bit of their hallmark, I think. I don't know though. That's if it's going to be a Guild Wars 2 style experience. If it's more of a Guild Wars 1 style experience, who knows? Alright, there you go, we got the script. Next, Dredgehorns. I once told you about quality armor the Granite Citadel used to have centuries ago. Wonder what that looked like. When you thought you were close to the peak, a dredge would knock you back. Well, Granite Citadel doesn't have peak in the name at all. So the blue text really just doesn't mean anything for where we go. What we should do then is just read the blue text and reminisce and then just move on, right? So, yeah, the Granite Citadel is amazing. I love that place. There you go. No, in all seriousness, I do really like this. I always liked when Guild Wars 2 made it look very similar to Guild Wars 1. And they nailed it here, didn't they? You know, it's funny. I finished all the titles in Guild Wars 1 now that I can feasibly do. I've got like 37 max titles or something. It's all finished, all the account stuff that's reasonable. And I put up a tweet saying I'm done with the game. It's got to be in Dostoevsky's, sorry, Dostoev. Skypeak. I put up a tweet saying I'm done with the game. There is technically something I can still do, which is when you look at Toolbox, it has like a completion module, and it shows you what you've got to do for all your Hall of Monuments stuff. So like, I've had 50 out of 50 for years, but like, I could put more minis there, especially with the new mini quests. I could, you know, I could get some more weapons. For, you know, there's all the Destroyer weapons. There's all the Torment weapons. I don't have all the Torment weapons. And then there's the Oppressor weapons from the War in Kryta as well. You know, I could get all of those. But the really big one, actually, is the armors. Resilience, I think it's called. In theory, I could get all the armors. You know, just craft all the 15k armors and delete them. I've never deleted a 15k armor in Guild Wars 1, though. It just feels icky to do it. Like, it's too much grind to throw in the bin. But then that just means my bank is filled with armors that really it shouldn't be. So I don't know. I could go to the Granite Citadel and make the Granite Citadel armor just to put it in my Hall of Monuments thing. Oh, actually, technically, I think I already have the Granite Citadel stuff. That was the very first 15k thing I ever bought. The first prestige thing I ever bought in this franchise was 15k armor, the Granite Citadel. But you get my point, like some of the other ones around there. All right, there we go. We got it. Dry top. Getting lost during the sandstorm was harrowing. Still, I'm glad these Zephyrite crystals gave us a taste of what having a raptor or a springer is like. That's a nice rosy way of looking at it, isn't it? The prospect of something happening to what you call a home is a scary thought. Yeah, my home is an airship fleet and it's going to fall out the sky eventually. Prospect Valley, right? That's the place, I think. Oh, fuck me, it's huge. I look at Dry Top as a... Oh, speaking of sandstorms. As an incredible example of how good the exploration was before mounts. And I look at picking the crystals up and using them to travel around and stuff as like... You know, using an orange crystal to dash through this quicksand. I look at that as all really captivating, really cool, intimate, small detail that I lament the loss of. But Arenanet has this rosy way of saying, no, look, it's just a little taste of the dev hacks we'll give you later. Enjoy. You know. And I suppose it's in their interest not to be relentlessly negative about everything. So I get it. Just anywhere in Prospect Valley. Was there a little bit more that they had to tell me about with this? The prospect of something happening to what you call home is a scary thought. I'm nervous that they're going to ask me to climb all the way up to the fucking diving goggles. I guess let's just go over to the mower racing area. Oh, in fact, the Devourer is over there. So like, I haven't killed that boss for ages. You know, this was such a good map. Like, these walls that I'm climbing up, this was all new. All the assets and stuff felt shiny and fancy. Just gonna press M and see if I see an icon anywhere. There's that player, again, is in Dry Top right now, standing on a very specific place. Oh shit, I do not have the right build to solo a champion. Yeah, I'm just going to get wrecked on this build. This is like a nothing build, really. There is another player. And we can go with the water Ellie. for some big heals. Oh, that was perfect timing, Arcane Shield there. Go for the break bar. Another big heal. Nice. Wow, geodes. I only have 33,345 of those. It's really good to get some more. If you're wondering why I have so many geodes, it's because, I don't know whether this is still true, but for a long time, the most, like the fastest clover generation, I think it was, for, or just general money for PvP, once you had all the reward tracks done, the season 2 one, which gave you like dry top and silver waste mats, that was like the best one to do. So it just flooded me with, you know, like I have 1,400 Zephyrite keys, and I use a key every single day, by the way, in my home instance. Well, every day I remember to log in anyway. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be high up now. The only other thing I was thinking is maybe it's on that rock over there, Spiring Rock, but I couldn't see it on the map. So how do we want to do this with a mount? Since the exploration is so much... Look at this. Look. It's so crazy, isn't it? You come back on a sky scale and it's like... all the platforming you do, like climbing around, getting the crystals and stuff. Like, look at this. I say, oh god, I hope it's not up at the diving goggles, but... now that we got this shit, is it really that bad? Well, they disable mounts, so... God, this feels better on EU than on NA. Holy fuck, these are so reactive. On NA, there's this awkward, like, third of a second delay. But this is just, like, buttery smooth. Wow. Oh, shit. I knew it was too good to be true. It's getting too high, too quick. If I'm wrong about it being up here, I'll look at the map. I wasted a bunch of charges there, but it doesn't really matter. So what is the most effective way here? Like this, maybe? And then this? There you go. Right, we're at the top. Ancient sapling. I don't see any script. Got my super quick gathering on there. Yeah, no script. Alright, I'm going to look it up. Let's see. Work hard for now. Oh, what? Apparently it's right near the waypoint at Prospect Valley. Holy shit. For the people just following the wiki guide, this is like an instant get. It's there. What the fuck? Alright. There you go, guys. The lesson to learn from all this is don't think for yourself. By the way, why is the Dredgehaunt Cliffs, Granite Citadel, Scrit, Scarlet Briar? That is Scarlet Briar. That icon is Scarlet Briar. But what they've done is they've gone into like saturation adjust. Sorry, hue shift, and they've adjusted the hue. That's so weird. All right, Memory Essence, Field of Ruin. It's remarkable that after all these years, there are those that think the treaty was a bad idea. Just look at what all the races of Tyria accomplished together. Yeah, that was a cool part of Dragon Response missions, actually. Well, we actually got to go back to Ebon Hawk for a second. There sure are a lot of smashed chickens, as if someone was intentionally triggering cave-ins. Alright, that's where the whole Zelda reference is, right? With the Koroks? Is that right? Koroks? K-O-R-O-K? Is that what they're called? And the cave is over here. Do you think it's in the cave? Or do you think it's near the Koroks? Or the chickens, rather? Sorry, I'm finding it really hard to keep up with chat here, actually. I'm either staring at the game, or staring at Wiki, or staring at UI. Maybe try swallowing some geodes. Yeah, I'll eat the rocks like the White Mantle member. But let's go into the cave. I think there was a way downstairs, but only for the Order of Whispers, right? Shit. No, here? Yeah? What is this place? Oh, is she just not letting me in? Oh, no. Okay. Hello, everyone. Well, there's nothing here. These are the classic lore books that don't actually have the lore UI. They have the regular UI. Which is what all we had for years and years. I don't know. I'm asking myself right now, like, if I have to kill the chickens to spawn it. I don't think so. If you guys don't know, I should point this out here for people that don't know. Check this out, ready? We kill chickens. We keep killing them over and over and over. And they instantly get their health back, and then this massive wave of them comes charging at you. And they really hurt. These angry chickens really hurt, if I remember rightly. And you can't really do anything about them. I think I saw a video with people experimenting with like doing enough damage or something to maybe overflow to actually get them killed. It's a fun little detail here at Evanhawk. Let's get out of here. Farewell, chickens. There you go, and they despawn after they chase you for a certain amount of time, which itself is quite an interesting bit of scripting. You don't see happen much with Guild Wars. Alright, I'm looking at Wiki. I don't know. It says it's... Oh, fuck. It's nowhere near here. Oh, I just straight up got this one wrong. What? It says it's over here. Oh, why am I in combat? Oh god, I'm out now, but whatever. We've committed to it. I must have messed up here. Hold on. It's remarkable that after all these years, there are those who think the treaty was a bad idea. Just look at what the races at Tyria accomplished together. There sure are a lot of smashed chickens. As if someone was intentionally triggering cave-ins. It's not talking about the chicken thing and the cave, which I'm pretty sure features a cave-in over here. Or wherever it is in here. It's not talking about that. It's talking about the guild jumping puzzle again. It's talking about people who walk into the red rings and trigger a collapse, right? So that everyone behind ends up getting hit and hurt. That was not my first thought. I can see why a lot of people it would, though, because that would have been repeatable content they were doing for ages. And look, I'm a believer in the guild missions. I'd like to see some updates. Check out my video that I did at the start of the year. Talked all about them. There you go. They were talking about the guild mission. Fond memories. Fireheart Rise. Remember defending and clearing all the way to the Citadel of Flame? I do. There were so many of them on that bridge. I'm surprised they weren't called the Balefire Legion. Well, the Balefire Legion instead of the Flame Legion. So this is called the Balefire. It's talking about the bridge that breaks and opens before you do the dungeon. Oh, hey, speaking of which... Well, actually, no, it doesn't, does it? I've just got myself a little bit confused here. So back in the olden days, before raids, when Arenanet stuck to their guns and understood 5-man, not 10-man, was superior, when you did dungeon runs, it came to this point to do COF, but, you know, sometimes the meta would be down, just like this, and you'd have to do the meta, which involved pushing all the way up to this bridge. And many an hour was spent sitting here AFK, like these players right here. This is cool. This is what I'm talking about. When I did that tweet the other day where I was like, what the fuck, Guild Wars feels so populated. Like they're killing all the inquest I need for the wizards tactic. Look at this. These are people still doing dungeon runs. That guy's a goddamn MM. The other day when I was doing the personal story with Kerry, we did Ascon Catacombs story mode because we got to that bit in the plot. And there was like a new player there. He was like a legit level 13 Asura. And I was like, hi, are you new? And he was like, yeah, I just found my way here. I was like, wow, and Asura got all the way here from the Tarnished Coast? Like, it's so easy to think, oh, I did that 15 years ago. No one's doing that anymore. But no, people are. It's crazy. Like, what the fuck? Are these guys about to go do the dungeon? That's so weird. Anyway, my theory about this bridge here is that it can be scripted to break or open. Like, it's clearly lots of different pieces. This is just a very big version of what you see in other places in the game, where it's a bridge that can turn on and off, open and close. But it never actually does that in the meta. It's always here. Anyway, looks like someone at Arenanet also had many years. Oh, and this was the other thing. This is quite cool, actually, guys. So you used to sit here, AFK, for so long. Remember, there were no mounts, alright? So obviously you get bored, and you try to... And there were ways to clip in, by the way. You could, like, TP in, get to the gate, and hit the enter instance. That was later, though, when people started figuring that out. But yeah, like, you'd start, like, doing jumping puzzly things. And there was a way. I can't remember how we used to do it now. But you can get onto this chain. I guess you'd climb on this. I think you'd climb on this, and then for me, like on an LE, you'd like lightning hammer just right. There you go. And now you're on the chain, and you're running around, and you're having fun on the chain. And look, fucking Arenanet's put a thing over here. They definitely had this experience. This is crazy. This really speaks to me. That's 100% what this is. Oh, this feels very end of the road, doesn't it? This is like the Wayfarer's Reverie, guys. You know, the Guild Wars 1 nostalgia adventure. Jesus. Frostcorch Sound. Ever heard of the famous collectors Professor Yackington and Nicholas the Traveller? I feel there's a lot of us hoarders out there. Never know when you might need something. Yeah, I've got my hordes of resonating shards and slivers. They said watch the ledges, so we did. It's a nice view, despite seeing the chaos in the tundra when that ice dragon was around. Tundra. We're looking for a place called a tundra. Not the Jakar Spurs. Runvale High Peaks. Frostwalk Tundra. So I guess we're looking at the Claw of Jormag fight area or something. So I've been kicked over to the dungeon entrance. That waypoint's nearly never available. It's very, very, very often contested. Speaking of the end of the road, Yackington turns up. What? In this storyline that we're doing right now? Or fetch quests? Or whatever we'd call it. Collection. I don't know. How long have we been playing? We've been playing for 2 hours already. We're about halfway done with this. The first hour was chit-chat, though. I think we've got plenty of time. I'm just nervous that we'll be too low energy or whatever by the time we get to Kinfall, but we should be fine. I don't know. This is my instinct here. I have no idea where else I would look. Oh, I see it. That's so weird. I can see the script, but it's not on the map. Oh, I said I like the telegraphing, but actually it's asking you to get really close before it shows up. Wow. In that text you just read. Yeah, I know it talked about Yackington in the text. That's what we were just talking about. That doesn't count as them turning up, though, does it, really? I mean, there's plenty of references to them. Memory Essence for Harathi. You help the friendly script from danger. I've learned that you'll be around no matter how things go, script friend. Is that referring... Harathi Hinterland helping Skrit out. That happens in the Lesser Race arc. In the personal story. Is that what they're alluding to? Or is there a Skrit event or a Skrit heart in there that I've forgotten about? I don't know what I hated the most in the woods. The spiders, the bandit with the pistol, or the Skrit that threw bears. Winnacona Woods. Now there's the spider thing here. A scrit throwing bears. There's also Diamane Woods. Were there scrit over here? I just remember centaurs. Ettins maybe? Oozes and shit in the cave? I'm lost on this one. Out of all of them, I think this one I've got no idea. Oh, is that a guild bounty thing? Dude, you're right. Jesus Christ. You're right. You're right. I've got to think about guild missions more. It's guild missions. Oh, do you know what? If this is a little tacit way of Arenanet winking at the camera and saying, guild missions, stay tuned. This summer, guild missions, next mini-X pack, then I think that's really cool. Yeah, okay, the scrit that threw bears. The scrit, Brick-a-Brick? Is that's the boss here, isn't it? And he throws, like, mines and stuff, but does he have a random chance to throw a bear? Is that a thing that happens? Like tornadoes sometimes spawn a cow. But if it's a guild bounty, right, they have these big-ass fucking patrols. How is that going to help me nail down a specific spot? It says the woods, right? So where he patrols through the woods, which would be like where I am right now. Maybe on the maybe it's going to be up there or something. Can't you climb up there to the vista and it's vaguely a cool place? Oh, speaking of, here's Breck here. Look, look, look. Oh, and it's throwing bears. Dude, I didn't even realise that that's what it's doing. The Cloak of Cuteness. Holy shit, I need to play a real build. Oh my god. I also need to actually fight, because there's a player trying to do this, and I'm kind of being a dick by not helping him kill it. Oh my god, the fucking triple down. It's alright, we're right here. Do this. I think it's 6. There we go. Try me now, Breck-a-Breck. To be fair, that was a fuck ton of CC coming at me there. What's polished Aurelium? Someone asked in guild chat. It was like one of the old Heart of Thorns. I can't remember if it ended up with a use. Damage taken. Venom sack, rifle turret, venom sack. I wanted to see that I got hit by something saying like throw bear. Well, there you go. See, the patrol does come through here. It's saying on Wiki. Do you remember when you look? You see, this is the route I walked, right? On Wiki, it says it's like here, so I was right next to it. It's just a question of do we want to spend ages honing in on that exact little area. There's a season 3 bandit champion and the spider queen. Oh, we want to go south. Oh, he just had a pet bear called Morley. I gotcha. This is a weird spot. Like, this hill means nothing to me. There's nothing of interest here. Was this another weird thing where you could climb up? This is really weird. Look at the AP distribution here. You get +2, and then +0, and then +8, and then +5. 2085. There's a release date. That's the Guild Wars 3 release date. 2085. Oh, I'm so excited. Remember, guys, keep yourselves healthy. Eat well. Exercise every day. Yearly checkups with your doctor so that you'll be alright in 2085. No, I'm kidding. It's 5,802, actually. What popular franchise is taking place in the year 5000? Can anyone tell me? What is set in the year 5K? I'm sure something will be. There's that really cool infographic floating around online that has like all big sci-fi properties and shows the years that they're set in. And like it has like a million years off in the future, like June, right? June is like way later. And it will even have stuff that's now in the past. You know, it'll have shit like oh, the storyline of Terminator was this year, and obviously we passed it a long time ago, or blah blah blah. Star Wars doesn't put a date on it, does it? It just says a long time ago in a galaxy far away. Also, that's a long time ago. It's not in the future. Maybe it's 2058. That's more viable for a lot of us, I think. I've said this to you guys before. I would love... One of my aims in life... Okay, well, let's read this before I ramble. While you were deep in thought about that big cauldron, I went off to chase... The Syrian cauldron. I went off to chase the big shiny. You can't change the past. Don't lose sight of the present moment. God, it's like the game is talking to me. I was in deep thought about that big cauldron. I was. You know me so well. I wanted to run around this place, but I felt I was being chased by either a suspicious char or some anomaly-looking thing. I know what they're talking about there. Run. It's that one of the hardest hearts in the entire game, frankly, in terms of like time investment. Ebbing Heart Run. Never mind. What the fuck's it called? Where the hell is it? Where's that Ash Legion heart? It's brutal. Tawny Ridge? Oh, it's Tawny Ridge. Never mind. Never mind. I wasn't even thinking about the right map. Okay, so Ebbing Heart Run. Been chased by a suspicious char or some other anomaly. Now, these caves up here are really interesting. Quite underutilized. There's one of those weird walls up there. Oh, or is it the Obsidian Run? I'm going to try in here at Grundelian's Lair, because it's always been kind of a cool sort of landmark. And it feels like they might put something there. If not, yeah, here's the weird wall. Look at this. You see another one of these like near Harathi. They're really interesting, aren't they? I think an event might blow it open or something. Yeah, so one of my goals, life goals, hashtag life goals, so real life goals for me is to be alive and healthy and happy and not like in cognitive decline, not riddled with dementia or anything, in the year 2066. I've probably talked about this online before. I think that's a cool goal for me. The year 2026. Now, I'm not much of a patriot, and I'm not, you know, I'm not like some self-obsessed Brit. But I think it'd be pretty cool to be alive and happy and healthy to appreciate the 1000th year birthday. 1000 years since my country came into existence. You know, 1066, the Battle of Hastings, and there I am, 1000 years later. I think that's cool. That's a nice, interesting idea. So that would be the year 2066 to get to. And according to this release date clue, I'll be playing Guild Wars 3. That's how long game development's got, guys. That's how hard it is now. You know, all you ever hear is gamers bitching about how it costs $90, you know. But look, they've just spent 35 years making it. Oh, I don't know where the fuck this one is. Wiki says I was actually on my way there when I gave up. Up there, apparently. Gladeful Run. Not sure what the tip-off there was. Maybe I'm missing. Come on. Don't give up on me now, Warclaw. Thank you. Well, I would be... How old would I be in 2026? I think I'd be in my 70s or my 80s. So it's very doable. But, you know, I mean, how depressing do we want to get here? To be real, right? If you take a 60-year-old and you stand them next to another 6-year-old, depending, or a 70, you take two random 70-year-olds, right? Depending on how these people have lived their lives, how active they are, how much they've smoked, how much they've drank, how much stress they've been in, how much they've eaten, all of this, right? There are very different qualities of life. And, you know... So what I'm saying is I would like to be me. I'd like to be happy and healthy and active and unimpaired. Me at that point. That's what I'm saying. Okay, next we've got Kessex Hills. The Crichtons cannot catch a break. First the Tower of Nightmares, then Fort Salma. Well, I would say first the Centaurs, but okay. Then the Tower of Nightmares, then Fort Salma, then Lake Doric, and Garenhof losing their tower. Guess you can't let the hard times get you down. That's funny to think of the tower leaving as a big crisis point for Kreiter. I always got the vibe that when you got to Garenhof, it's supposed to feel like a small corner of the country, you know. But of course, in engine, they only ever do so many villages, so now it feels like a huge proportion of them. It was peaceful here in the meadows, but now you can get a good look at the ruins of a fort and a tower. So, meadows. So, Greyhoof Meadows. Okay, the ruins of a fort, Fort Salma. The ruins of a tower, the Tower of Nightmares. So, we're looking for a place here that can see both. This is where one of the trailer for Guild Wars 2 takes place. They run the camera along here really fast, and the day-night cycle spins really quickly as they do so. And it was the first sign of the active day-night cycle, which Guild Wars 1 didn't have. So exciting. These were mostly just bare fields back then. This is also hoping the world is in a decent state in 2066. Yeah, I mean, the UK will be gone. 1,000 years of French influence. What an amazing British celebration. Those are fighting words. Oh, maybe it's actually up on one of the big things up here. Let's get depressing. Not all of us will make it till then. I mean, yeah, I'll tell you, I'm being a bit jokey or whatever, but I will always remember Wax Screwdriver. Big fan, big member of the... Oh, it is on one of these. Big member of the community. Always in these live chats. Always in the comments. Lovely guy. And got sick and passed away a few years ago. It was really sad. I remember one of the times I come very, very close to being really, really upset and very emotional on this microphone was talking about that. I mean, even that seems so long ago now. I often wonder how many people remember him. Alright, memory essence for Lornar's Pass. So, you know, we don't have to talk about the distant future. Ever hear the legend about adventurers paying for someone to make the dangerous trek to Droknar's Forge? Making the trip south in this weather? No thanks. That's amazing. That is speaking about that's talking about runners. In Guild Wars 1, you could pay the runner to take you from the north to the south, get to Drok's Forge, get your high-level armor really early. That was one of the earliest things I ever saw players doing in this game, in this whole franchise. Before I even played it, I knew about people doing that. She thought it was a false hope that we could stop the twisted marionette. Damn, I was going to go to actual Drok's Forge. Since I know exactly where that is, it's a sunken hero challenge here at sunken Droknar now. I quite often want the blue text to be the thing, and then it's not the thing. So, false hope that we could stop the twisted marionette. And what? Oh, but that would be Mount Maelstrom, and we want Lornar's Pass. Well, the Marionette's body's here at False River Valley, so this one might be fairly doable. London's become a new Delhi. Guild Wars 4 in 2066 is going to be fire. I know we're obviously messing around and joking. I don't think we'll ever get there. I don't think they'll call the next game Guild Wars 3. Well, I don't know what they'll do. They might. But the idea of, like, when it comes to MMOs, going on long numerical franchises like that, I don't know. I think you'll see shit like a Guild Wars story, or Tyrion Tales was a podcast, wasn't it? Tyrion Tales? It'll be stuff like that. It won't be, So maybe in here? You know, in some ways it seems farcical, right? We're talking about a really long, distant, faraway date. And it's crazy to think, oh, it will still be around. But you know what, guys? It probably will still be around. You probably will still be able to play Guild Wars 1. It's like, so I made kind of a really nasty joke about Stellaris the other day, right? So basically with that game, right, when it launched, it had an idea for planetary management. And then a new game director came in and changed it. Throughout all the AI, throughout all the optimizations and everything in the name of this new system that they thought would be better. And then that game director left, and a new game director came. And the new game director, like 5 years later, has just done the same thing. Throughout all the AI, throughout all the, you know, all the structure that they've been building, because he wanted to do a planetary management rework. There's so many other things that game could get, but he wanted to do another one, so they've done another one. And I made a little nasty joke saying, oh, I'm looking forward to in another 5 years, when the next game director does another one. You know, meanwhile, there's all this other shit that the game could really benefit from. And when I made that comment, I was thinking to myself, you know, it's kind of crazy. We're talking about, like, 5 years off in the future. That used to be, like, to me, that 5 years, that's such a long period of time. But now I kind of just sort of think that will go in a blink of an eye, and people will still be playing the game. And people will still be on the forums having the same discussions, you know. And it's the same with Guild Wars. It's the same with any of these games. It's mind-blowing that we're over a decade deep into GW2 and we're just sort of still playing. Like, you know, it's like when you look at RuneScape. Not to get too dragged down into, you know, the politics of what's going on today or whatever, but someone took a video of some of the United States B-52 bombers flying back home, and they were overhead, and they took a video of them, like, up in the sky. And people were talking about, like, what the conditions for the pilots might be like and stuff. And they said, oh, you know, they've got their own kitchen up there. They, you know, it's... You think of bomber pilots in these rough conditions. You think you like map it in your mind to like World War II style experience, but no, they're actually quite at home, quite comfortable. They've got their toilets, they've got like little kitchen on board and stuff. And someone said, "Yeah, I've got a friend who's a like a fighter pilot, and he spends most of his day while he's at work, while he's like flying or whatever, while he's doing his stuff, he plays RuneScape. There's like some Titan farm, and he's like, oh, yeah, he'll play RuneScape." He's in the sky in a military vessel, but he's getting his grind on in RuneScape while he's playing. And you know, it's like, what the fuck? You know, like I look at that, I'm like, oh, that's kids of my generation have gone up and got real jobs now, and they're still there playing RuneScape. And I'll tell you, in 30 years, there'll still be people playing RuneScape. You know, it's that thing of like, retirement homes will be filled with, you know, nerds playing games. There will be people in their retirement homes playing Guild Wars 2. You know, no disasters pending. But I'll tell you what will really happen, right? If Arenanet goes bust, if everything goes wrong because of crazy decisions 10, 20 years from now, whatever, right? What will realistically happen is this franchise and everything will get sold to a third party that will monetize the shit out of it and bastardize it and break it in a lot of ways. But it will trudge along. Ship of Theseus, it will change a bit, but it will still be around, you know? If my friends can still log in and play a Fly for Fun expansion, I don't see why that can't be true in another 10 years, another 20 years. To be frank, what else would you do? Fly the plane? Well, I don't know anything about being a pilot, but I get the impression that huge chunks of it are downtime, you know? It's mostly about landing and taking off. When you're on 18 hours, you know, flying over the Pacific or the Atlantic, if they have a little laptop or a little Steam Deck on their lap, you know, those are valuable hours. You can be getting your grind on. And that's why, guys, all of us who are playing in our own time, we're all mugs, you know. You should be double dipping. I mean, hell, I kind of am double dipping. You never quit X game, you just take breaks. Yeah, until the game quits on you. Rip tabula rasa. Sorry, we're getting way too distracted here. Malcolm's Leap. I wonder what it would have been like to know Lissa back then. Ooh. She would be so shiny to look at. Anyway, we made it this far. Sorry, should I be doing script voices for all of these? So Malcolm's Leap. Getting to that vista seemed like it was... This is a great song, by the way, the Priory song. Getting to that vista seemed like it was another hidden garden jumping puzzle back in our day. The hidden garden? Do you mean like the strawberry patch? That's very fourth wall breaky, isn't it? So we're going to a tricky vista at a place known as the Garden in Malcor's Leap. Karst Plains, Valley of Liss, Theatre of Delight, Waste Hollows, Crusted Shoals, Pyrite Peninsula, Mini X-Pack Fodder. Malcor's Fingers. Sorry, was garden not the keyword? Let's verify what we read. Malcor's Leap. Getting to that vista seemed like it was another hidden garden jumping puzzle back in our day. So, there was a really complicated vista, wasn't there, at the end of the JP? No. Valley. Oh, the Garden of Ilya. Oh, this vista here. This is a cool vista. I like this a lot. It's funny, we're reading all this fragmented lore. It's kind of like interpreting JW, you know? It's like a lot of people have been saying to me, like, you know, how hard can it be to write the current mini X-Pack stories? You know, you've got a 1-year scope. Can't you write something coherent? Can't you make it clear? It's like, you know, I'm not really the person to ask that because I don't know. I don't know how difficult it is when you've got a big team that are all in the room writing together, when you don't know how much you'll get into each release, when you've got, you know, shit like text budgets going on. I just don't know. I've got no idea. It's very easy when you get out the other side to see the story for what it ended up being and judge it and critique it in one way or another. But it must be hard to write, or at least I'm assuming it's hard, because otherwise why would it be so shit? No, I don't mean that. Oh god. I hope the devs don't listen to this, really. JW wasn't all shit. Oh my god, wow. That's cool as fuck. Look at that, that's awesome. I don't think I've ever stood on this. Because this is a very, like, only once you've got the sky scale type thing. Metrica Province. Do you remember Hunger Royale? I do! What the fuck? Who's talking to me right now? Do you remember Hunger Royale? Oh my god, that's a blast from the past. Imagine it was South Sun Survival, but with teams. If I was participating in Hunger Royale, a wild idea. What is this? This is a bit odd, isn't it? In how, like, nostalgia-fueled this is. A wild idea would be to hang around a potato farm. Oh my god, I think I know where that is immediately. Because, of course, the WP Potato Farm. Which is, it's this. Yeah, in the Ack Wilds. We're going there, I'm sure of it. That's a cool little location to take us. Yeah, for those who don't know what the hell Hunger Royale was, at the end of each of the big betas, the public betas, there were 3 of them. At the end of each of them, they did like a big special event where they threw like a big like map-wide event for everyone to play. And they were like interesting formats and weird mini games. So the first one I don't really remember what was going on in the first one. It was at Wayfarer, and there were a billion, like, bounty mobs to fight, and all I remember is being up here at Jormungandr's worm arena pit thing, and fighting a jackalope, like a champion jackalope, and it was brutally deadly. It was like one-shotting people, none of us could kill it. I remember that. I don't really... And just, like, running around and killing mobs. There was one on the plains of Ashford where people were getting branded. Was that right? I don't remember what that was actually called. Anyway, the third and final beta ended here in Metrica Province, and a big map-wide meta event triggered called Hunger Royale, where, yeah, basically, it's exactly what the game just said to us. It's... If you've played South Sun Survival... It was like permadeath. You had like an environmental weapon kits. So you had like a med kit you could hold, and you'd have like, I don't know, like poison darts or something maybe. And you sort of ran around. There was like the green team, the blue team, and the yellow team. And it was like last man standing sort of thing. I don't remember where or when or how I died, but once you died, I think you were like a ghost or a wisp or something. It's funny, because if I remember rightly, through all the data mining, it seemed to be that those events could still be triggered or flagged in some way. So with a little bit of work, you never know, they could have done it. Oh, that's cool. We go up here now. This is very... I don't understand some of those Quaggan. We were trying to rescue them, but they got all angry, and they attacked the crate. Guess they really wanted revenge. So this is Mount Maelstrom. We needed to go back to the coil and look for more clues on this Morgemoth. Interesting. Okay, so that's the Infinity Coil Reactor. And so in the dungeon, there's the Teeth of Morgemoth skill that you get hit with by Subject Alpha. It was the first clue about Morgemoth in the entire game. And then when you look up here, Zone Red was Primordus, Zone Black was Zaitan, Zone Blue was the Deep Sea Dragon / Suwon, I guess. And there's actually still a little bit of conflicting lore here, given what they did with EOD. Zone Violet was Kraukatoric, Zone White was Jormag. So what the hell? Zone Green? But there is no Elder Dragon of plants. Zone Green! Is it possible there's a 6th Elder Dragon? Oh my god, let's make a video about it. So there you go, that was another biggie from the olden days. And here we are, guys, 10 years later. Wow, I'm really impressed with who this is. Whatever 2025 dev wrote that keenly knows all about the whole Teeth of Morgemoth thing. You know, there's such this like bullshit like narrative that constantly permeates Reddit. Oh, all the devs have left. There's new people. It's look at Glassdoor. Look at the rotating people. Blah blah. But look at that. Whoever wrote this shit is a fan of Guild Wars 2. You don't know that shit unless you're really here for it all. And Hunger Royale and stuff. I feel like I'm in good hands with whoever this is. Okay, here we are. So I'll be astounded if the script isn't in here. The script is in here. This is very rewarding. This is very cool and very rewarding for me. How are most other people doing this? Are they just going to the wiki? Just beep, 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 beep. Done. Generation Z. Generation Alpha. Go, 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 go. Let's get out of here. Anyway, this is cool. And we're in the tree as well, which is kind of novel. I don't think I've ever been in the tree. Memory Essence. Nearly down to the last row here. Hopefully these aren't epic quests, these two. Because if they are, we might not have time for it all. Memory Essence. The Plains of Ashford. It is quite something to think there were adventurers that never experienced the searing. And the hint is, why do they have so much garlic bread in the catacombs? Do you think we'll find more in the ruins of the sea? See, look at this! Garlic bread is like a food drop that comes out of the chest in the Ascon catacombs. The catacombs was the first dungeon that Arenanet made. They had it ready earlier than the other ones. They were a bit more experimental with the loot and stuff that you saw in there. And yeah, garlic bread would drop. And it's kind of like a nothing drop for most players. But what that means is in the years since, a lot of people have done AC and got garlic bread drop in there. Like, what the fuck? So, what's the capitalized letter? Ruins? R for ruins? It's telling me to go to the ruins of their city. Well, Ascalon, just like with the sunken Drachna's Forge thing, Ascalon is actually... Ascalon City. Well, there's the basin. Do we go underwater? Again, the original trailer had us go under here with the crate. Should we try that? The catacombs entrance is there. Ascalon City ruins. I'm thinking it's in the water. Would they put one underwater? Have they done that yet? Oh, I can see it already. It's on that. That's so cool. Oh, look at that mastery. Ah! If I'd used my boost, we would have been good there. That's cool. Putting it on this little rock here. And that's an Ascalon helmet there. Why did they pick Scarlet for this one? I could understand them picking Scarlet for the one in Lornar's Pass with the marionette. They've actually picked a lot of cool icons for all of this here. I'm really warming up to this. It feels like a really enthusiastic fans made it, which makes me really excited about the future. I don't know. After all the adventures, so Queensdale, after all the they could pick so many good places in Queensdale, oh my god. After all the adventures, I feel like this is my favourite place to visit. In many ways, I do too. It's relaxing and cheery, even if it does have bandits, wolves, centaurs, and mean script. So the hint. You took a break at some Heartwoods. The Heartwoods are like that central area with the oak carts. But adventurers were already taking out trolls, boars, bandits, wasps, oak hearts, and spiders. So I guess I'll just go to the Heartwoods. It's this. Oh, well, I was thinking more in there, but that's a POI. Well, I'm going to go there anyway. For a while, under the old daily system, where it would say, like, mine or whatever, I used this place here. Because it was so quick to get to these copper nodes. There's copper all over the mountain here. I'll tell you, there was nothing more magical than being here at launch and actually mining the copper in order to actually craft the copper items and stuff. Oh god, I love that stuff so much. The thrill of getting to Kessex and seeing everything tear up. I'm getting a similar experience to that at the moment. Kerry and I are playing a game called Enshrouded with another friend of ours. If you guys remember that game Valheim that came out a couple of years ago, and now the devs have just been really, really slow on adding anything. Like the biomes and the updates are coming so slow. And they're doing shit like porting it to other consoles and creating board games and just basically monetizing it rather than putting more updates into it. If you want a game that's a lot like Valheim but is really, really, really good, try Enshrouded, honestly. To anyone who has played Enshrouded, we are about to go to the desert. So we're like maybe 5 or 6 biomes deep now. I think we might be near the end. But I'm really enjoying my time with that game. It's a little bit V-Rising-y in terms of like how the materials affect the base upgrades and stuff. Not quite as good as V-Rising. I don't think anything will ever get as good as V-Rising. But it's pretty good. Oh, it is here. It is on the. It's on the tree. There you go. This is a really interesting, pretty tree as well. At this point, Arenanet's reused just about everything possible. But I don't remember really seeing them reuse these. These very striking, dark red trees with the flowers and stuff. That's a reference to Guild Wars 2's metas, the champ train. You think it was referencing the tramp chain? The champ train. Oh, well, it has the champion bag. It has the bandit bag from the champ train as the icon. Oh, yeah, you took a break at the Heartwoods, but some adventurers were taking out trolls. There's the champion troll on the train. Boars, bandits, wasps, oak hearts, and spiders. Are they all champs on the old Queensdale champ train? Good times as well. Are they in Lake Doric anywhere? The only place I can imagine them, but I don't know anything specific. Those trees, I mean, I'm sure they've used them here or there. But I feel like they haven't done it enough that I'm bored of them. So, that's a good thing. Memory essence for Snowden Drifts. We did a lot of practicing on our roller beetles. For a relatively short course, the timings for those turns are tight. We got so close to gold. Look at that! I was literally talking about how that's a really technical course and a difficult course, right? There's something surreal about hanging around inside an abandoned building, but at least you can hear owls. Okay, that's clearly the owl sanctuary. This was such a big hit for so many people. I think because it's one of the first, like, sad areas you could find, right? And of course, yeah, of course, there's a lot of cool rafters and shit where you can put a script in this one. I like how this is a gamut of lots of things, you know. There's like beta trivia in there, roller beetle stuff, which is kind of new as far as I'm concerned. Champ train shit, guild mission shit. You know, it's like a player that has done it all and been there through it all. South Sun Cove. The consortium has a weird definition of a vacation. There were explosive mines, drakes, and lots of carca out there, but the beach was nice. Hint, it did not feel good chasing a carca back to a cavern where there could have been more dangers lying in wait. You know, I thought they were going to be really explicit there about being excited about getting precursors or something. Like when this came out and that first event happened, it was all about the fact people were getting really, really high chance to get precursors. And I remember I fucking lagged out, like so many did. Crashed out of the map and lagged out. This was such a brutal release. I'll tell you what, for as much as I can criticize Guild Wars, they have cleaned that shit up big time. You don't have like laggy, crazy maps and stuff like that anymore with PvE events. You just don't. And I know what the cynics are thinking. It's because there's no population. But, oh, you doing World versus World? Alright, fine, whatever. But still, this was a real low light. And we haven't had an experience like this for a long time. So I'm just going to go in the cave. Still got my ancient carcass shell box somewhere, not on this. She's filled with the new fancy big ones. You remember Xavier getting into like 5 maps and getting all the rewards? I don't remember that. That boils my blood even just hearing that. Did he really? I remember I didn't get shit. I crashed out and I couldn't get back into any. And by the time I got in, the rewards were over. I remember being really gutted about it. But just from a design perspective, it's kind of an odd choice that Arenanet went with, really. Because even if the lagging wasn't happening, some players will have come out of that with precursors. And others didn't. And because it was like a 50-50 rate or whatever, it would just feel bad to be the guy that got a tails and not a heads, right? If it's like 5% of people got them, then you're sort of like, well, you know, in all reality, I was going to be in the 95% or whatever. But when they put it as close to just a coin toss, that's just going to breed animosity, really. In another timeline where there were lots of, like, South Sun-esque releases where there was always the big precursor grab at the start, then maybe it's also okay because over time everybody gets their reward. But there was no, like, guarantee of that. And as it turns out, that didn't happen either. So it was just a weird one. We're doing a lot. Guys, I haven't looked at Wiki for ages. All of these has just been bang, 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 bang. Got them all. The hints have been bang on. Spark 5Fen. I like learning about the Hylek. They seemed like such a nice bunch, but we have to see the Dragon Champion, script friend. So the icon here is Tequattle's tail. So I'm guessing before I even read the gold text, we're going to be going to Tequattle. If I was on the cliffs, I would be safe from any tidal waves that crashed on the coast. It would be disaster if you couldn't find any launch pads in time. See, look, I mean, they're referencing the Tequattle overhaul. And I know technically any old player could just come here and jump on these launch pads, but you wouldn't know the significance of them in the modern balance, because he never fucking uses the tidal wave anymore. That was a hell of a good release. Release tech. Yeah, I know that it doesn't really work in open world maps, and there's lots of issues with people trying to get into the maps. We have the queue system now. I know that there's a lot of like iffy elements of it, but the spectacle, the difficulty, everything married together. This was such a good release. I've always been sad that there's not like a harder mode of tech that you can spawn. You know how guilds can spawn world bosses on demand? I say let them spawn challenge mode versions of them and bring back the real tech experience. That shit would be epic. By the way, I'm just 100% assuming it's up here. Because why wouldn't it be? This is where Tequatl would stand on you and smash you. And I love the idea of there being a little ghosty script here now. I was wrong, he's not here. Some other cliff, I guess? Might be a wiki one, because there's quite a few cliffs around. How am I to know? Oh, do you know what would be kind of cool? Is if it's just in the air and you jump on the launch pad and smash F as you're going. Should we see? Lost Shores could make a cool convergence if it ever came out. Yeah, that's funny to think, isn't it? The problem is with you reusing convergences for material like that, is it's not a convergence in terms of like demons coming to the realm. It's the same with DRMs. That's a good format of content, but they called it dragon response missions. So to use it in anything not to do with dragon minions just feels weird, right? Like two inadequately named formats there. If they'd done it, they might have felt a little bit more freedom. Look how pathetic these launch pads feel nowadays, by the way. I mean, look at this. This was some mind-blowing speed when this happened. And the camera coming this high up. This was insane. Like, whoa, how fucking epic. Now the game's just completely desensitized me to any kind of movement like this. Look at that. A whole jump pad is basically 2 dashes on the sky scale. What are these players doing up here? Yeah, I think I'm going to go to Wiki. Oh, well, let me check real quick. Over here, maybe? Oh, hold on. I see a marker on my map. Oh, and this one's triggered from really far away. So what's the deal? Do I get in range and then it just stays there permanently? Is that the deal? If DRMs ever return, they can just call them Alliance response missions, since Tyrian Alliance is a continual plot. I like that, yeah, and obviously it's easy enough to rename a thing. And I do think DRMs are very good. They just weren't very good when it was like 3/4 of a year and that was all that you were getting. You know, it's I think people are a bit overly critical of DRMs, or they misdiagnose what they didn't enjoy. You know, if every Living World patch had a DRM as a function of it, just one, I think everyone would have embraced them and say, oh, this is cool, you know? There's replayability here, there's a chance to team up with other players. It's kind of the dungeon experience, but the devs don't have to actually build a dungeon, so they get to cheap out on that a bit. You know, like, it's a useful feature. The problem was patch after patch after patch, where it's just DRM, 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 DRM. You know, they had a good reward scheme. Okay, this is one of, like, the icon for this one is, like, the crate obelisk. By the way, what is this icon? The South Sun Cove one? I've never seen that before. What is that? Oh, it's a bird. It's an upside-down bird. It's like a hawk. Upside down and recolored. I don't really know what that one is either. That's Ho-Ho-Tron there, the Metrica Province one. That's the Ancient Bone, the easiest of them all to recognize, I think, for most players. Don't really know what that one is either. It's got a worm on it, though. I did a lot of Triple Trouble, and I don't remember any items with an icon like that. Anyway, it's funny, when I was doing Dawn, I had to go to a plant that icon looks like to gather light from it. And there they are using it in Caledon Forest. Anyway, Memory Essence, Straits of Devastation. The invasion of all was a sight to behold. I had such high hopes for the Straits of Devastation, fortunately, from the alphas. Using the catacombs as a shortcut probably wasn't the best idea. It's like a maze down here. Okay, so we're talking about there's Okafa catacombs and where the Eye of Zaitan fight is. You know, if they had a reference there to the staff. If you guys remember, at launch there was an exotic associated with each world boss with a special skin. Except one of them was a scythe-looking staff, really cool, called Final Rest, right? But Final Rest wasn't dropping. People knew about it, but they couldn't get it. Where was Final Rest? Final Rest was like the ultimate big hidden thing in the game. And I did some videos about it. You know, there were big theories that it was in it was a very rare drop from the Shadow Behemoth, or that it was a drop from this meta. That you'd have to do this meta a bunch because nobody came here. This was like a weird thing. Remember, this is before champ bags and stuff. The incentive to do a lot of this side stuff was just not there. And I think Arenanet had a statement or something saying that it wasn't bugged, it was attainable, it was in the game. Right? Didn't they? Wasn't there something like that? Which really spurred us all on. And then in the end, it turned out it was bugged. And when they fixed it, the drop rate was really high. And what could have been a very cool, exciting drop that people were really passionate about and would have sold for a lot of money, just immediately was worth, like, nothing. But yeah, Final Rest, that was a fun whole chapter. And if they had mentioned that in the text there, I would have been giddy. That would have been really exciting. There you go, 1 gold, guys. Look at what they did to you. Final Rest. Oh, you're like the OG Scythe skin and everything. Fun little area of the catacombs here, by the way. Coming up here. Oh my god, just 3 to go. The Silver Wastes. So these are all core areas, plus Season 2, I guess. I would think, and if there had been the Season 1 places there too as well. I mean, I guess technically the Battle for Lion's Arch is sort of a place, but... I would think more script would live here, given all the shiny chests. Sometimes you were desperate and needed to get airship support when defending your fort. Desperate. I don't know off the top of my head anywhere called Desperate. Yeah, they were... Oh, the Desperate Passage? Oh, they're referring to the Season 2 story step then. I was thinking more about, you know, when you call an airship support. Oh, no, they were talking about that. It's going to be quite the adventure getting there. Limited waypoints, as they are. Of course, this was all very exciting as well. This season ending with the big cinematic cutscene. The Heart of Thorns trailer. Getting a train down to Brighton a few months later. Good times. The upside down bird icon is actually called Karka Queen Claw, and it's the icon from the Moot collection when you need to kill her. Oh, well, there you go. You think Desperate is referring to players? No, come on, it's always referring to the place name on the maps. I'm assuming that this is where we go with Kaith. Kaith? Canuck? That trailer was a hype moment. Well, there were like 3, weren't there, with Heart of Thorns? They really pushed the boat out for the budget on Heart of Thorns. There was the in-game cutscene you got. There was the trailer with, you know, the very concept arty one where it's just a sort of Morgemoth. And then later there was the big trailer on the announce day that me and Matt streamed. It was so weird. They had like 80,000 views watching that release. And then for the post-show, we had 40,000 people watching us just doing a trailer analysis on Twitch. People were really into Heart of Thorns. There was a lot of hype and excitement for that announcement. I remembered, like, thinking, well, look, everyone's going to tune out. No one's going to watch. You know, normal people aren't going to sit there just watching random nerds dissecting the footage. But a huge amount of people stayed. All right. 2 to go. Memory Essence, Timberline Falls. The order is really peculiar to me. Why have we gone in the order we've gone in? Just to keep it fresh? Skipping around biomes? It seems the Scratch here learned a bit from the Norn. Like Kvezyard. I like all of these like little script anecdotes, you know. It's always all the script we're doing in the maps. To think more, and I don't know what it's actually talking about there, by the way. What did the Norn at Kvezyard do? Oh, I think I know what that is. They're all drunk, aren't they? They're talking about all the drunk script. Oh, is that Mount Maelstrom? Is Kvez's yard the yeah, this place here. I think there's the event where the Skrit come in and steal the booze and stuff. Anyway, to think Morgemoth could destroy a fort so rapidly, and now we can't use the waypoint anymore. So Fisher's Eye Bridges, the Gyre Rapids, this is Fort Concordia. That was what got destroyed by Morgemoth. And if I try to use the waypoint, it's always contested, and it never becomes decontested. There you go, that's awesome. There is no event to open that up. And I love that they've got that little note in there. And I assume the Skrit is just in the fort somewhere. Bring back Chill Reaper. Wow, you're getting... Oh, wow, no, it's not really the same. I was going to say Infernal Ellie in the next patch. It's not really the same, is it? But yeah, I love their original implementation of Chill Reaper. And I think they should have kept doing stuff like that. There's so many fucking awesome things they could have done with this game's combat system and the build craft and the itemization of it all. Ugh. Whatever. Like, I really believe... No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not going into some massive rant about another format of itemization. Wayfarer Foothills. The last one, everybody. Okay, can I just say, I'd like to do the Kinfall Fractal with a party of people. So far, we've got one guy. Do people want to join for this, or is it not sounding very fun? We're about to finish this, and I'd like to go into the Fractal. If you want to play with me, guys, type /join lists. I'm on EU. The more the merrier. Or just send me a whisper in-game, and I'll invite you to our party. So we can go do the Kinfall Fractal, the last piece of content with Janthir Wilds. So Wayfarer Foothills, it's a fascinating realization that there's only a small bit of greenery outside their homeland. Even with my fur, I still don't enjoy the cold much. Whose homeland? Or we're just talking about the cool green area at the south of the Holbrack is the homeland? What are you talking about? The Far Shiver Peaks? There's no greenery up there? Whatever. Get a little distracted there. Have you seen a Sawmere? That's a large worm. It's worth a climb. Okay. That one wasn't too fascinating. But yeah, we'll go up. The Sawmere is the worm you kill in the tutorial thing. You forgot the Titan organ smuggling side story. Oh shit, you're right. Oh, do you know what? When I started this, I thought to myself, I've got 2 side stories to do. And I thought it was the gizmos and this, but they're basically the same thing, aren't they? How good is the Titan? What's it called? Where is it? Because I looked. Side stories. Those are all the return twos. I don't even know where it's listed. That's the thing. I'm not sure where it's listed. I guess WP may do the Titan smuggling next. I thought this was going to be the end. I really want to get back to Oblivion, guys. It's been nearly a month now. And I love Guild Wars, and I want to cover the patch in full, but at the end of the day, it's been ages. Right, we got it. So we're going to return back now. Return to Astral Ward Medic Minyria at Blood Coast Ward in Lion's Arch, or Mantle's Arrival in Bavanissos. Let's do the Mantle's Arrival in Bavanissos, because I feel like it's much more likely I'll know exactly where they are here. That side quest reference is one of my favourite Guild Wars 2 side villains. But I kind of wanted to do a bit of a casual review of these as well, so maybe one more episode where we do that too? Hold on, let's just figure it out. Astral Ward Mage. Miyna, that's the person we're looking for. I don't see anyone here. I don't see anyone here. We've got all of these guys. Why has this guy got a big ass icon over him? Ugh. Chief Inspector Lutz. Yeah, that's the organ quest there. Commander, glad you got my letter. Here's the situation. Organs are making their way out above Anesos, and they shouldn't just get up and walk away on their own. There's a smuggling ring, that's certain. Doubt it's very big, though. 5, maybe 10 members tops. But before we can bust it up, we'll need to get our hands on some evidence. Is this going to be the pets? The little animals from the Lion's Arch heist? Where do I come in? You get to do a little inspection work. Check around the camp. You'll find any crates with organs inside. We get the okay to investigate. It's that simple. So, should I bring the crate back here, or... Huh? No, we don't want to tip them off by swiping the goods. And what am I going to do with a crate of organs anyway? Your testimony is plenty for right now. On it, I doubt they'll obviously be marked, but I'll be thorough. Yeah, Titan organ smuggling. It looks like a big quest there. Okay, I'm going to eyeball that so that we don't lose it. But where the fuck is the actual... Oh, here you are. She doesn't have an icon. I found all the memory essences. Can you tell me what's next? Looks like more text has been revealed on this object. It says present this to a friend of Skrit. They may not be Skrit themselves, but they're for sure a friend. That's pretty vague. Any hints? Can you think of someone who exhibits Skrit-like behavior? Someone who hoards or appreciates shinies? They could be somewhere in Central Tyria or possibly Janthir. In that case, I might have an idea. Okay, so I feel like this little bit's been ruined a bit for me. Not ruined, whatever, spoiled. A few days ago, in a previous episode, before we even started this, someone said, hey, WP, make sure once you finish this to visit the Mystic Forge raid. And I was like, why is that relevant? And so Zomeros. Someone with Skrit-like behavior, someone who hoards or appreciates shinies, is Zomeros, right? They could be somewhere in Central Tyria or possibly Janthir. Well, Zomeros isn't in Janthir anywhere. So what, do I go to Miani? There's nowhere I can just straight up speak to Zomeros, is it? Do I have to go in the raid? I almost want to say Evan Nashblade a little bit. Sorry, it's the guy from the other collection? Remember the times we had together? I'll be visiting Sky Friends and we'll tell them all about you. I told you somewhere in Tyria, not en route to a literal moon. What? Look, you're looking for a Skrit friend of a Skrit friend, which probably is someone that exhibits Skrit-like behavior, such as hoarding and appreciating shinies. Oh, the Gobbler guy. You mentioned he was written like a Skrit. Well, this is kind of why. Oh. And Mahio says, no, there's a thing in Wing 6 after you finish the achievement involved with Wing 6. Alright, so the organ thing is what leads to Wing 6. Not this. Oh, okay. Interesting. Gar, we found this artifact. We figured it's meant for you. He says, that drawing, why is it so familiar? I still don't even really get what the artifact is. What is the picture? It looks like... Oh, God. It's what I mentioned before. It's the thing you eat for karma, isn't it? Drawing? I don't see anything. He says it was made for me to see. It's triggered by... Are those memories? Those people look familiar. It's not me, is it? Some of them look like you, though it's hard to tell, but the shorter figure by me is clearly in focus. Continue to let Gar examine the artifact. Aha! There's a message hidden in all of them. You have to get better. You're all that I have. You notice Gar's eyes watering, but there's a faint glow of magic. And I say, Leadclaw, are you alright? He says, Liz, I'm scared. The message has changed, and it wants you to read the next phrase. I can't make it out. You have to do it, please. The artifact shows a script with a message for me to say. And I dignified say, don't take long, you won't be here forever. Don't take too long, you won't be here forever. We heard that quote already, didn't we? You notice the faint glow in Gar's eyes brighten for a few seconds, and then return to normal. He's still a little teary-eyed, though. Deadclaw? Commander, it all makes sense now. Those are memories from when I adventured around Central Tyria with a Skrit, a dear friend of mine. We recounted many curiosities, shinies included. Continue to listen. It's not easy when your best friend comes down with some mysterious illness that the Orders of Tyria don't have an answer for, but I kept up my hopes that I would find a cure. Continue to listen. Then one day, she was gone. I suppose I could have figured out there was something special about her. Not long after the Astral Ward found me. They needed an expert in gathering items. I accepted the deal as a way to honor her and our legacy. But every item I gathered, I felt like a cruel reminder. The Ward offered to make those memories dormant, but not erase them. Ooh, more memory manipulation stuff here. Tilt your head in interest. It was Kursol's idea? The way to reawaken my memories was through those phrases. They were our parting words, but I promise not all of this is so morose, Liz. And I raised my eyebrows. She wanted me to discover this because she's found a place she can continue being the shiniest shiny, just as we promised each other. The Mystic Forge. Ah, I see. It's thanks to you that I know where to visit her. You can keep the artifact. It seems to have some more it may have some powerful magical properties. I can always ask her for more. I'm glad I could help, Gar. Thank you for the gift. Take care of yourself, Liz. You're all you have. You too, Gar. And we get the Wizard's Portal Tome. Aha! So what's left is the crazy ones from Season 1. Which I assume most active players, this is what your achievement will look like. Let's see how it looks. So we double click it. Major destinations, main and capital cities. Arborstone, Wizard's Tower, Lowland Shore, because it doesn't really have a, you know, it's got the homestead instead, really. View destinations among other capital cities, but I don't have those. Show me Central Tyria. Old LA. Hall of Monuments. Oh, you know what? This could clean up my Lion's Pride and everything. I could swap them. Show me the Heart of Maguba region, Season 3, please. Crystal Desert region, Season 4. It's funny, they called it the Crystal Desert. Not really Arenanet. I'd say it's more Alona than anything. It doesn't fit too well, especially when we've got Thunderhead Peaks in there. Okay, I'll stop being a picky nerd. I'll stop. Show me the Icebrood Saga. Other locations. The Tiger Den. The Egg Chamber. The Egg Chamber? Precocious Aurene. Let's play with Aurene, everybody. Is she still here? Or, like, what's the dealio? Oof. Yes, let me through, Luminut. Hello, Keith. Classic Keith. Oh, we have to portal through here. It's not taking us. I don't know. Alright, well, whatever. I heard you like menus. Yeah, ... So we got menus in our menus and our menus. So what? So... you've confused me now. So now I go to the Mystic Forge? Alright, guys, let's... these people have been waiting very patiently. Let's play Kinfall. There was a nice little message there, guys. Remember, you don't have forever. Get moving. Whatever your plans are. As John Kearns says, know what you want and have the confidence to go after it. Right, what are we doing? Let's scout out their AP amounts and decide our competency based on that. Okay, I'm seeing a bunch of 40k people, so I think T4 will be plenty. So Kinfall is level 95. What roles do we have? Do I heal? What do we need? It's going to be fucking ADPS, isn't it? Because that's going to be a quick heal firebrand. I hate ADPS. ADPS is the one role I don't have set up. Oh, he says just DPS. Oh, this guy says he doesn't have any agony resist. Okay, well, let's do T1 then if he doesn't have any agony resist. So it'll be level 17. He hasn't done fractals for years. That's fine. Listen, I in the live commentary here, I said anyone can join, anyone can have fun, no pressure. So I'm not going to force us into T4 if you don't have the agony resist, and I'm not going to judge you for not having the agony. It's fine. It's whatever. We'll just do the T1 version. Yeah. And then that also means I don't have to think about what I'm doing at all. All right, we're in. We are in, yes. Shiny. Infinite Mist Omni Potion. Nice. So I was gonna, while we were waiting for everyone to join, I was gonna do the jumping puzzle, but no, everyone's here. All right, let's see what we got. I'm gonna turn dialogue on. I've got no idea what this is. I haven't seen a trailer for this. I haven't seen any discussion about this at all. Literally nothing. I am 100% blind on this, with the exception that I know that Heartfire thing that was on the wiki. Not that I clicked the page, but just that it's a thing. And I've seen one screenshot of the fractal, which I've used for the thumbnail of this video. That is it. And I know it's about the Coden from the patch notes. Time to play it. Pause 14 and play Guild Wars 2, I guess. You know what? I was thinking about Amarot the other day. I really can't wait to go back to that LP. Oh, we got to get back to Shadowbringers. See the magic of Amarot. Know what you want to live healthily till at least 2066. That's a pretty low bar, isn't it? Oh shit, we're role playing as Coden in this. Nice. Cool. Oh man, this is quite cool. There's already a collectible over there. Memory fragment. Something like magic it was, but none of us said it. Perhaps only I thought it. All that remains. Find all 6 memory fragments in the Kinfall fractal. A fragment of doubt, terror, pain, guilt, confusion, regret. Oh god, we're very demon emotion-y immediately, aren't we? Oh, somebody's got some birthday cakes here. You know what? This feels just like the little Raven chambers in the Icebrood Saga, doesn't it? Same ice. Same sort of lighting. Can we get through here? It's a cool little lock-picking sound effect. Break through the foes and the frost to escape. Why is Dessa not speaking?
Wait. Don't leave her behind. She cried out for you, but her voice was so faint. Even I could barely hear her down in the dark.
Holy shit. Okay, wait. Dessa was speaking, but it bugged, and we didn't hear her voice. In fact, I still can't hear her voice. Oh, it's not bugged. The voice acting just isn't in. Okay, hold on. Let me read what Dessa says here. It's got, we joined, and she's...
All my fire frightens my Icebrood. Why not surrender it all, as she did? Find peace with us, as she has.
Okay, I think they're done now. So we joined. Dessa said, you're carrying some kind of natural energy. I can't determine its origin, but it feels warm. Well, it should be enough to protect you from the ice magic here. I'm picking up massive Elder Dragon energy signature. It's not real, but try telling my senses that. So this is like a fake copy of Jormag in the as a fractal, right? We're witnessing some event in which the Coden... Oh shit, the Coden dance looks epic. The Coden came across Jormag, and Jormag whispered to them. Cool, this is kind of like if Icebrood Saga got a fractal. This is a weird patch in a way, because this is like an expansion to the Icebrood Saga, and the back piece, the legendary back piece, is clearly an End of Dragons voidy thing. Maybe there is one more episode in this series, because we can look at the back piece as well. Anyway, Whispering Shadow, Jormag, says, or at least the voice of Jormag. Is it Drakkar whispering to us, I guess? Don't leave her behind. She cried out for you, but her voice was so faint, even I could barely hear her down in the dark. And Dessa said, there's a high concentration magic barrier here. It looks like the only way through is, one, you'll have to sacrifice that protective energy. That'll leave you vulnerable, so hurry. The live fire frightens my ice brood. Why not surrender it all as she did? Find it. Don't really understand what they're talking about here. So I have live fire permanently. It protects me against deathly rise. Sorry, deathly rhyme. That makes more sense. But we're going to lose it as we go, so we pick different players to get rid of it. Oh, he's got the meteor spear. That's awesome. The fragment of terror. Until we'd gone too far to the sun to find the sunlight, we thought we were alone. Then a shadow blocked our path. Howled it did. Are they talking about Waiting Sorrow, by the way? Is Jormag trying to pretend to these other Jormag, to these other Kodan, that she's claimed Waiting Sorrow? Something like that? Find an escape route. Oh shit, okay. I love the crunchy, crispy ice sounds here. This reminds me of the Azuric icy glacier place, which also put those in the soundtracks a lot. Fucking love Technobabble, seriously. So the players that are doing this, they're losing their Heartfire. There's probably going to be 5 seals, right, until we've all lost them. I suppose the only thing we're missing here is if there are mechanics that scale at the higher tiers. The memory fragment in here. The air was full of knives, biting my tongue and pricking my lungs. Without the gift of warmth, to breathe was to spit blood. Dude, I'm liking the music. Was this all Icebreed Saga music? And it's just been a while. It's kind of cool to imagine a world where this was in the original Icebreed Saga. It really would have built up the Waiting Sorrow mystery, right? And then as it got revealed over these recent 2 mini-X packs, it would have been really epic. Of course, I don't think half of it had been written back then, but you know. Some of it had. Obviously, we knew the whole Kodan Claw losing its voice thing. Since launch, even. Since pre-launch. That another fragment that I didn't get yet? I like the kind of very frosty, foggy color grading in here as well. It does feel really icy and cold. To those who lost those who lost the gift ran on, then stumbled, then fell. We could not look back. Oh god. Okay, I've got Deathly Rhyme on me now, and now there's Live Fire. So I have to open this. No one else. No, he still has Live Fire. He has Live Fire. He doesn't. He does. I don't know. Only live fire can dispel this ice magic. I did have it.
Make for the pass. If only one reaches the others, enough it will be.
Don't poison your bearkin against me.
I really have no idea what's going on. Did I fall? The memory escapes me. Fragment of confusion. I'm confused too. There's one more, the fragment of regret. That's the easiest fucking 3 AP I've had in years. Assuming we get it. There's like some slight jumping-y things going on here, but not too many. In chat, someone said that...
I understand your rage, your fear. I've mourned my own family.
Interesting. So if that's Jormag saying, I've mourned my family, my brother lost, is that in reference to, what, Primordus? Losing any semblance of a personality and just sort of becoming this primal thing? Try to not go ahead too quick, because I feel like I'm going to look back and see that someone's pinged one of the motes behind me that I'd otherwise would have missed. Yeah, at the start of the Fractal, apparently you can hit a mote that makes you normal instead of a codon. There you go. If only I had the words then. But when the thing was before us, I could only scream. Oh, that's weird. Standing near it, I could hear voices. They weren't printed in the log, though. I do not know the fucking mechanic. What? Only live fire can dispel this. Okay. I have it. I have live fire. Jormag is Bart Simpson during the teacher's strike. What do you mean the bank is out of money? You gotta understand, your money's not here. It's in Gerald's house. And in Spiller's house. Hey, what's my money doing in your house? Money creates a riot. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm gonna read the player text to see if anyone's explained this to me. The fire we must have must be some kind of code and flame, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's funny to think of Jormag as scared of this thing. Wasn't there a thing in Secrets of the Obscure at the Wizard's Tower? Is there something about Zaitan being afraid of something? Was that right? I can't remember. In one of the like side rooms in the Wizard's Tower, there's a really tantalizing like little tease. It talks about there you go, someone got it. But what did they do? Just pressed F? It wasn't working for me. Oh, I see. There's a cauldron? Oh no, that's just the Halloween thing, isn't it? Or maybe not. We're here. We're queer. We don't want any more bearkin. I knew it was the bears. Even when it was the immigrants, I knew it was the bears.
Bring your people to me instead of driving them away.
Oh, this is cool. This is the place.
We can build a world without loss, without grief. Oh no, that peace is all Silkenweir wanted for
you. Don't say her name.
Silkenweir. That's Pokey's mum, isn't it? So this is quite recent history, actually. This is about how the mother died. Ah, I see. That's kind of cool. That sort of circles back to that in a nice way, and makes it fit into this expansion quite nicely. Oh, we learn more about the fate of Silkenweir then. So, sorry, Silkenweir died and this hunting party went to avenge her? Something like that? Once again, by the way, very good I replayed all of Janthir Wilds before this. If I hadn't, I probably would have forgotten who she was.
You don't know what Silkenweir wanted. Keep her name off your lying tongue.
I've got no idea what's going on with mechanics here, by the way. I'm just purely looking at dialogue and just not stepping in AoEs. Unfortunately, I keep grand finaleing in the wrong... Hammer's kind of a weird weapon where if you're not very structured and careful about how you open the fight and what you're doing, and you play it very rotationally, things just kind of don't line up in a fun way. Okay, we got a break bar.
The sun again.
Nicely done, team. I was perfectly out of air for all of that. Also, I think we have more than enough quickness. I think we might have, like, quite a few quickness givers here.
We're wanted to live!
I feel like there should be more dialogue happening around this. There we go. Got to contribute a bit more that time. Hard to judge the fight when we're on T1.
You understand nothing of grief or of sacrifice. You feel no warmth and have none to give. Empty you are. Empty and alone. Poor, wretched thing.
So it was the legendary Whispering Shadow.
There's nothing here. Only the wind.
So we did an achievement. Defeat the Whispering Shadow without being hit by Cryo Flash, whatever that was. We're missing one achievement, which is to complete it at a higher tier. Jesus, if we'd done that at T3, we would be done already with the whole thing. Really? Oh, gold weapon! Oh, Arenanet! That's such a fucking troll to me. For years! For years I've had to do that gold collection. For a mastery point, and I finally bit the bullet around Christmas. Genuinely, for about 10 years that's been there. I finally bit the bullet, spent a shit ton of resources just to finish it early, because why the hell not? And immediately after, the very next... Oh, man, they're giving a gold weapon crate away. Holy fuck. Well, anyway, there you go. We get a mastery point. So I guess there's no other lore we're missing or anything. It really is a short and sweet one. Again, I'm fine with short, sweet fractals. I think when you're actually in there grinding them daily, they're nice. They're the ones I look forward to more than anything else. If the environment looks pretty and is distinct, I'm also happy, and this is. So I'm fine with this. I really am. I feel like the story was a little bit less tangible than I would have liked, but I'm probably missing a bunch, and if I really sit down and think about it, I might have some more strong observations. But that was fun, guys. Thank you very much for playing that with me. It's cool to actually have some Icebrood Saga representation, I guess, within the format, where it was not before. These events take place during the Icebrood War, by all indications. So Zaitan would already be dead for years, so that could have been the brother that you were talking about? Yeah. And it was because Jormak's scheming and wanting to become the new mother that drove the dragon, tore the dragon family apart. Well, where are you getting that from? The Su-1 conversations at the very end? I don't know. I feel like you're talking definitively there about something that's only suggested, possibly. Makes me wonder if that voice at the end saying nothing but the wind, referring to Almora's death in the saga, could be Weir's spirit barely briefly manifesting. Oh, wait, is that a reference to Almora's death? Yeah, it's a reused version of the jumping puzzle-ish area near Drakar's lair. Absolutely, yeah. You guess they'll do a CM? I don't know. Do they have a plan to do a CM for that Fractal? It's from the Aurene Legendaries. Or the Aurene Legendaries are very intangible. They're kind of scattered, aren't they, really? Alright, guys, I'm going to leave the party here. Again, thank you all. That was really cool. It's so awesome to be able to play the game, ask if people want to play with me, and get a team. It's awesome. By the way, completing that, everybody, we just got the last special thing there. So I need to make 6 Lightborn or slumbering Lightborn weapons, and I get another 150. But all the major things associated with this release were done. So we did the festival stuff with Dragon Bash that's going on. Master of the Arena was Dragon Bash. Complete the Kinfall Fractal. Complete the Titanic Voyage meta event in the new map. Another thing with the festival. Complete Convergence. Complete Salvation's cost. That's the end of the story. We've done them all. You get 300 points for that. So I've got 1,000 now. What I've done is I bought all of the stone growth weapons. I bought the 1,000 point roller beetle skin. And now we can finally start working on the other seasonal rewards, which is the new armor. Might be worth equipping as well, by the way. So I got these 2 pieces to do here. And then we're done with the season again. So all seasons 100% in tow right now. Over these past 2 years. Then once I'm done with that, it'll be laurels, shit like that. Smaller things. The line in the Fractal seems to refer to the Saga Episode 1 chapter, The Wind and Nothing More, where we discover Almora's core. Man, the start of the Icewood Saga was really good in tone. WP, you could also start the Aurax collection. The first bit isn't expensive or long, I don't think, and it has a little bit of story flavour. Okay. Oh, God. Alright, I guess there might be another episode of this. Next time you see me, it will either be an Oblivion episode, or it will be this Titan organ smuggling, plus looking at that little bit of story at the start of the back piece, I guess. If you guys think that that will be entertaining, if people will be there to watch it, then yeah, I'll do it. I do want to cover everything, obviously. And this is the end of the expansion, so yeah. So thank you very much for watching today, guys. Obviously, it's been a slightly longer episode. It's been brilliant, and I'll see you for the next one very, very soon. To anybody who's watching this as a VOD or whatever, feel free to leave your YouTube comments. I'll do a bit of a Q&A section if we have something novel or new or whatever to talk about. And, yeah, go to the start of the Mythrite Gambit for the hidden epilogue to Gar's stuff. We could do that at the beginning of the next episode as well. Today was a blast. The nostalgia trip was really fun. Yeah, it was cool to go back and reflect on everything. It really was. Thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll be back with more Janthir Wilds next time. Take care, everybody. WP, did you ever do a video on the raid? No, I didn't do a video on the raid. I have the footage, but I don't feel there's anything I could say about it that you can't get just from reading wiki or looking at other videos. So, yeah. GG, guys. I mean, if I ever end up doing the LM, you know, I've done videos on every really difficult bit of content in the game. I've completed and then done videos on. I would like to do that, but I'm not really in an LME kind of place at the moment, so we'll see. But yeah, thank you, everybody. Big thanks to the people who came to the Fractal, and I'm sorry if I missed any. I don't think there were any members or anything. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.